Obviously, you can tell this is not a traditional setting. And having said that, this is not going to be a traditional show. I'm out here bike riding, enjoying myself, and I figured I'd stop for a minute. And you see the big ass bike helmet. I'll throw it on so that some of the folks, when they first come in here, they're gonna see me with this big ass helmet on. But yeah, I'm out here bike riding, and I figured I'd stop in and say hello to the folks while I'm on an intermission and do an open forum. I don't think I haven't done open forum. I haven't done an open forum show in a while. So the way an open forum show works is it's what's on your mind. It's questions coming from you folks, the viewers. I want to predominantly get a handle some more of my MAGA viewers. So I'm gonna leave it open certainly to a lot of my MAGA viewers, but my liberal viewers are also welcome to chime in on this. But I do want to hear from some of my MAGA viewers because we often get the whole notion that you don't have enough MAGA on here. I heard somebody tell me the other day, and because I believe in free speech, I let folks talk. I had someone tell me because I got so many damn liberals coming on the program and not enough MAGA, and I can't control that. But because I got so many liberals coming on the program, I heard somebody tell me, "You have what you have now is a black show." Someone stated, one of my MAGA viewers, and I consider him a friend. We've been talking for a while. He told me my show is too black. Now, I'm not going to argue with him. A lot of my callers are African Americans. I'm not going to argue with that whatsoever. I would certainly prefer to get more MAGA. Not a lot I can do about that, but it was interesting to have a viewer tell me that my show is too black. Like I said, if I could have it my way, it would be probably 50% white, 50% black, 50% liberal, 50% conservative. But unfortunately, I don't have control over that. You guys that have been watching me for a while, we've been doing this for 4 years, 5 years almost. We've always been about free speech. We've never blocked, banned, or censored anyone, even if they're calling me all kinds of names or calling other guests all kinds of names. We do believe in free speech. But you guys know what I say all the time. Right now, Trump is in a hot seat. He is our commander in chief. He is our president, whether you like him or not. And along with that comes criticism. That's just how it works. If you're president, you're going to get credit for where you do good and criticism for where you do wrong. And I lost a lot of my MAGA viewers when Trump got reelected and he suddenly was in the hot seat. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, we had plenty of criticism on Biden. You guys heard me all the damn time talking about his economy, talking about the wide open borders. I was heavy on Biden. I had a lot more MAGA then. All of a sudden, Trump gets in there, and I'm criticizing the fact that he didn't end the war in 24 hours. He didn't bring down grocery prices like he said, and MAGA scampered. They left it. They took the hell off. They went out of there. They didn't want to hear that. So, and of course, once that started happening, I started getting more liberals because now you're criticizing the guy we don't like. But when I was criticizing the guy MAGA didn't like, I had a lot of MAGA. So it's difficult to run a program where you let everybody speak. Everybody wants to. Most of us, being candid, most of us like to hear. We like to hear politics that we agree with. We like to hear news in media that we agree with. That's just the way it is. A lot of liberals will listen to CNN or MSNBC, and most liberals don't watch Fox, Newsmax, or OAN. Most folks on the right are not going to watch MSNBC, CNN, or anything that leans left. You want to hear shows that actually agree with you. And it is what it is. So when you come on this live, this program, you're going to hear shit you agree with, and you're going to hear things you don't agree with, because we do let everybody speak, and that is not what people are used to. So when your side is getting criticized, people tune out. Nothing I can do about that. And I would rather, like I said, have half and half MAGA, half liberals, half white, half black, you name it. I don't want any side to have a majority, but Nothing I can do about that. Anyway, so today we're going to have a show. And thank you, DJ D says your show and thoughts or common sense. Thank you. So today what we're going to do is just have an open forum. I'm out here bike riding. I figured I'd stop for a minute. I've done a little bit of riding, put a few miles in. I'm like, let me stop and talk to the folks. Today we're going to hear what's on your mind. You guys got me completely vulnerable. You got me butt ass naked out here. And what do I mean? I don't have a monitor behind me. So if you say something, you catch me off guard, you say some shit I can't challenge, you win. I can't prove you're wrong. I don't have a computer in front of me, none of that. I do have an iPhone around here somewhere. I do have an iPhone, so I suppose I could, if I really wanted to, I could go and look some shit up. But this is it. This is me in the flesh, and I want to hear from you folks. If you got questions on the show, political things you want to talk about. If you want to know my feelings on any damn thing, if that matters, you can ask that question. But we're going to do it wide open. We are currently on YouTube and TikTok. That's it. YouTube and TikTok. So I will be taking callers as normal, but this is an open forum. So there is no topic for this. This is you guys. You're making the topics. You're coming up with the questions. And we're taking them from all sides of the aisle. Everything from, Al Sharpton all the way over to Charlie Kirk. We're that wide open. I don't watch any news media. I am sensitive over Charlie Kirk. I just step away, but I come back. Okay, Leroy, I can agree. I can understand that. Chris says, no, sir, MAGA still follow you, and we see your side, and we respect it. Thank you, Chris. Says, we need unity, and we appreciate you for bringing that to both sides. It's some nice motherfuckers out here. Where are my angry MAGA at? I appreciate that, Chris. Thank you. Let me get gangster grandma. You guys are being too nice. Have a motherfucker blushing as dark as I am. Good for you, Tim. Having a good day. Yes, Scott, I'm out here trying to burn a few calories riding a bike. I'm going to admit it is an e-bike, but it does work you out a little bit. So I've probably ridden about, 7 or 8 miles out, and eventually I got to ride back. But I figured I'd stop and get on here and talk to the folks. Real quick, I watched CNN or MSNBC for a minute to listen to the propaganda and bullshit satire, says Scott. Yeah, you're going to get that on CNN, but then again, you can get that from Greg Gutfeld too. Let me go to the box and see how you folks are doing. We're going to start out with the one and only Gangster Grandma. Whole lot of nice people on here. I'm sure Gangster Grandma is going to be very nice today. This is a no fluffing afternoon. Gangster, good evening, or good afternoon, rather.
What are you doing?
I'm bike riding.
You bike riding?
Yeah.
You?
Is it hard?
Yeah. You gonna lose you some 10 pounds?
You said what?
Are you gonna lose you some 10 pounds?
I don't know how much weight I'm gonna lose. I still like to fucking eat, but I'm out bike riding.
You out bike riding?
Yeah. You said what?
I'll give you a little bit of props. But you still got rowdy raccoon, though.
Why I gotta be a raccoon? I'm out here talking to the people.
You asked me kissing ass to the white man, our oppressors. And let me tell you something. We're never going to be at peace with our oppressors. I don't give a damn. Black and brown, we're united. We're not going to be with those oppressors. Stop.
And I see Jen Newman on YouTube says, hey, gangster. What do you mean white are oppressed? This is 2025. You're not being oppressed. Who's oppressing you?
What the fuck?
Who was oppressing you? Tell me how you, as a black woman, tell me how you've been oppressed in 2025. Who's stopping you from doing anything?
They're doing it right now. They're trying to take our freedom of speech away. What are you fucking talking about, Willis? We can't go down walking on this damn street without we getting pushed out by the popos. See, people don't understand that. The white man, they could do all that. And they're the worstest enemy. They're the ones that unaliving every damn buddy. Have you noticed that? The white on white crime? They need to worry about their ass. Don't worry about our black asses.
But here's what I don't understand. You're saying that they're taking away our free speech. I don't know if you realize it, but Jimmy Kimmel is not a black man. He's the one that's...
It don't matter if he's a black man. He's from the left side. They're trying to silence us. Now they're going to go after Antifa when God knows they don't even know what fucking Antifa is. That's how dumb they are. That's how fucking dumb these people are. They're like Riri's on crack. You know another thing is? Let me break this shit down for fucking the white man, okay? They are so dumb. He's lost it. You know, the cracker that we have in the office, you know what I mean? His cheese fell off over there. And,
why are you calling him? Wait. Why are you disrespecting the president by calling him a cracker?
Because his cheese fell off his cracker? Have you heard his speech in Britain? And they talked about Biden, and your ugly fucking no good for nothing ass talked about Biden. And his damn, at least he could do a conversation. That motherfucker cracker, his cheese fell off.
Let me tell you something. While you criticizing Trump's speech, his speech was good enough to win all 7 damn swing states. How about that?
He barely won the 7 damn swing
A
states.
win is a
And
win.
You know why? You know why he won? Let's break the shit down. He won because the non-voters didn't like her because she was a black fucking woman. The other fucking thing is Palestine. Oh, he's gonna be better than Palestine because she was G-side. Remember that? Oh yes, let's go there, okay? And then you had a stupid fuck that did that. Oh, he's gonna do better. Oh no. But what is it now though? It's gonna be a fucking parking lot.
Appreciate that, Cora.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. But how about this? Maybe while you criticizing Trump's speech, how about this? Perhaps, regardless of what his speech was like, he resonated with the American people. That's why he's back in the White House
If
again.
you really think that, he got the fucking uneducated fools. He got the uneducated.
77 million?
Yeah, the uneducated. What did he say? All the smart ones don't like him.
No, he said, you trying to tell, he did say that, I can't.
Yeah, he did. What did I tell you? He said it so many fucking times to these motherfuckers. You're stupid. You're dumb. I like you.
Why do you think he would say something like that?
Because he's telling the fucking truth and it's too stupid to realize that. And you know that, Tim.
I don't know
That's
what.
too stupid.
I don't know.
The truth dropped in the fucking head. Well, you know what? He just called me stupid. Yeah, you're a moron, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. But how about this? Because we're free speech. Dano speaks in the comments, says hate speech is different from free speech.
No, we don't have hate speech. No. Oh, no. If that was the case, half you motherfuckers would be in jail. I may not like what the fuck. If I call you a saltine fucking cracker, that is my fucking God-given right to do that. I personally don't want to do that, but yeah, you call me the N-word. Yeah, you can do that, but you're gonna get a bullet in your fucking head. But you know what? Yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
Too much. And I do see someone that says yelling and cursing doesn't make you smart. I think they're talking to you.
Well, you know what? I'm more educated than you fucking dumb fucks. Yeah. You know, I'm not the one that's on EBT and shit. I'm not the one that's kissing a white man's ass, drinking that uncooked protein, knowing that he's gonna fuck you in the ass without a condom. And when I get fucked in the ass, I know it's with a condom, and I know it's with lube, and I know what the fuck I'm getting.
Well, speaking of your level of education, Roger Lennon on YouTube says education doesn't make you smart. Your vocabulary has him convinced.
You know what? Let me tell you something. That's why they don't want your kids to go to college, because education does make you smart. You know, unfortunately, you motherfucking coonbacks don't even understand education. You don't want your kids to go to college. You don't want your kids to expire. You don't want your kids to do nothing but lay back, have kids, and fuck their mamas, their daddies, their uncles. Yeah, that's why you're interbred, motherfucker. That's why you guys unaliving each other, because you guys are interbred.
What evidence do you have that they don't want our kids to go to college?
Did you not just see what he said? Did you not what Trump just said?
No, what are you talking about?
Education. He don't want your kids to go to college. He don't.
I've never heard anything like that.
He really don't. Why are you taking shit from the college kids then? Why are you taking money from the college kids?
Well, he does. He does believe.
Why?
He
Why
does.
is he taking for medical? Why? Why is he doing that? He cut it off at $125,000, knowing to become a doctor is over $200,000 to $300,000 grand. Over. Why? Because you don't want your kids to be. You want your kids to be stupid.
Well, one of my viewers says it's because he don't want your kids deep in debt.
That's not true. They're gonna be in worse debt, you dumb fuck. You see how dumb they are? Do you see how dumb they are? Do you see? Because they still gotta pay for it.
Well, speaking of,
I'm helping my kids go to Stanford.
Speaking of paying for it, BMO says, why do I have to pay for somebody else's kid to go to college?
Who is paying? Who is?
Well,
they get loans and stuff. They get scholarships.
What do you think the money's?
You can't afford it.
No, you said Trump is taking money from college kids. They're
taking the federal loans and taking them off.
That's people's
capping the loans.
Yeah, that's people's tax. That's people's tax money.
No, they're paying it back though, but with less interest rate. What are you talking about?
Well, a lot of these folks that go to school don't end up paying their loans back. I think that's what he's alluding to.
Well, guess what? I'd rather pay my tax money go to kids that get the education than go to corporate America that don't give you motherfucking shit. How about that? I'd rather have my tax money go to the poor, get the ones on food stamps, unlike you bitches. Give food stamps and get Medicaid and give it to the poor. I'd rather that go to them than go to the billionaires that you got to kiss an ass and fucking in the ass with. You know what I mean? You guys are praising the billionaires and they don't give two fucks about you.
And real quick before we continue, Morgan in the comments, you asked me why do I platform people like this? The same way the right platforms Charlie Kirk. Free speech. Free speech. If you want people able to speak, they're not going to say shit you agree with all the time. Morgan, come on the program. You can say whatever the hell you want on this program.
That's why the white man don't like me, because I call the BS out. They are the most, let me tell you something. The white man, the cis white man, are the most dangerous in the United States. They are. They cannot go for the black man. They can't go for the Mexican man or anybody else. They are the most dangerous. They unalive the most. But they don't want to hear that. That's white on white crime right there. They don't want to hear that.
I'm hearing President Trump say the most dangerous people in this country are the radical left.
Oh, I bet they do. But we're not the ones unaliving. CK lean to the back and drip drip. He got unalived by his own damn people. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
So you believe that Charlie Kirk was a Republican? I mean, you believe that Tyler Robinson, the one that took him out, you believe that Tyler Robinson was a Republican?
And you know what? Charlie Kirk was a smarty. And you know what's crazy? They'd rather give up the First Amendment for him, but they would not give up the Second Amendment to save our kids. Go fuck your figure.
Well, Trump claims that he's not trying to take the Second Amendment rights away.
Yeah, he's trying to silence us. And you know what? It ain't gonna fucking work. Did you see that shit at Starbucks? Say Charlie K's name. You know what I did? You know what my fat ass black ass did? You know what I did? I went in there and I put Trayvon Martin. I said, say his fucking name. And you know what the Greasers did? They said they'll probably say the fucking shit.
So you went in Starbucks and said Trayvon Martin.
I sure did. Today's gonna be George Floyd.
Do you have a problem with the white man?
I have a problem with the racist white people. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. They are oppressors. They are the white devil. They're the ones that try to take shit from us. They're the ones that blame us for fucking every damn thing. And it's the white team, man. They're the ones that SA more than any fucking body. They rape their own damn daughters and make them have their own damn kids. That's why they so fucked up in the head. And if you don't believe me, you go look at it on YouTube. You know you did.
How about this, though? You do realize that all the equality and freedoms that has been established by the black man would never have happened if it wasn't for white people that put their lives on the line to help us.
It wasn't just the white man that did it. There was Afro-Latinas out there protesting it. There was Mexicans that was out there doing it. And yes, our allies were out there doing it. I'm not talking about our allies. I'm talking about the Triple K that's in office. I'm talking about the Triple K that's over here saying, and I'm CK. Yeah, motherfucker, you stay the fucking way from me. Because if you believe what CK believed in, you are my impression.
Why would you compare President Trump, our president, to the Triple K?
Well, what the? Kim, I know you.
I'm asking. Has he ever wore a hood?
What do you think he just done? What do you think do you think he likes your black ass? Do you really think so?
I mean, I could be Tim Scott. Do you see the resemblance?
No.
Byron Donalds?
And trying to be white so bad. Go get you some bleach. Like he said.
What the hell? Byron Donalds ain't trying to be white.
Yeah, you are, because you're kissing that white man's ass and drinking his uncooked protein, huh, Timmy?
How about?
You need to stop.
How about this? Just being friends with Trump don't make you try to. I mean, Mike Tyson is friends with.
I have morals and I got standards. I would never be a friend to a maggot. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if he's dying on the side of the street. I would not help that man. Nope. We need that orange to squeeze already. You know what I mean? You can see. They're trying to, they are literally.
What is your, I need you to explain. I need you to explain for folks who don't know what the hell you're talking about. What does it mean, orange, to squeeze orange? What does that mean?
You don't know what that fucking means?
A lot of people don't know what it
You're
means.
supposed to be on the educated side, and you don't know what you squeeze that orange. What the fuck you think that means?
Making
You
orange
want
juice?
that motherfucking squeeze.
Making orange juice? Are you talking about making orange
Yeah.
juice?
No, Trump in the dirt.
All right. Did you wake up on the wrong side this morning? You seem kind of angry, gangster.
Honey, I'm going right now to go get me a George Floyd coffee today. I'm giving me a latte today. You know what I'm saying? And I do it. And you know what? Let me tell you something. You want to praise him on the 14th of October. We're going to praise George Floyd. Because you know why? He got unalived unnecessarily. That motherfucker that got unalived, and it's a stupid ass birthday. Let me tell you something. You guys know the Bible real well. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, bitch. And he did it. He said you'll sacrifice your life.
Well,
Do this Second Amendment. Well, bitch, you sacrificed it.
while you are going to praise George Floyd, if you're in Arizona, pay homage to the Charlie Kirk Memorial Highway they're going to work on.
Hell no! You got me fucked up. He was a racist white man that thought that black women who was uneducated, we stole the white women's jobs. Go fucking figure.
All right, I gotta cut it a little short today because I'm out here gangster.
I bet you do. I bet you do. Go lose that 10 pounds.
I'm trying. I need to lose more than 10, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Well,
all right.
You might get I won't say I can get you banana.
I'm gone. Tap the screen, by the way, folks. I'm out here doing this shit out in public, so tap the screen. Wow, that was an interesting start, was it not? This is an open forum. That's how we're doing this today. This is an open forum program. I'm just out here bike riding. I figured I'd come talk to the people. As always, we're not going to block, ban, or censor anyone. Alter ego, yeah! Appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you very much. Program is always going to be MAGA friendly the same way it is. Where can we find gangsters? Is Pimperos. What do you want to find her for? You want to buy her a George Floyd cup of Starbucks? Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. We'll go to the next caller. Why does it say remove your background noise so viewers can hear you clearly? Let me know on TikTok. Are any of you guys having issues hearing me? Because that's what the app said. Now, fuck, the sun is coming out. Let me know. And real quick in the comments, go Trump, go USA. I do see that comment there. Just us. I can hear you fine on YouTube. Thank you there, Johnny. But yeah, you said we can hear you. I don't know why TikTok said that, but this is an open forum. We don't have a topic. In fact, it is your topic, your question. If you got any questions for the host, the topic you want to talk about, we can certainly do that because I'm out here just riding around. And I took a break in between my bike ride. I'm out here bike riding. If you can kind of see, there's a show. Well, I think it shows on TikTok. I don't know, but there's a bike right here behind me. Anyway, but I recognize the lady's voice. I can't remember her channel. Well, her name is Gangsta Grandma. They only dish out criticism. Trump doesn't like the truth. Damn. Well, some folks would say that Trump is the truth. Karen, that's what they're telling me. You sound like a radio DJ. Good voice. JT Quality. Quality Rex. I thought it said Rex. Quality Rex. RECS. Quality Rex only. I thought it said Quality Rex only, if you know what I mean. I'm like, oh shit, okay, bless your heart. Anyway, Jesus loves us. Thank you, Quality. Appreciate that. Jesus loves us all. We need to walk the narrow path. Interesting. And no problem with that at all. Wow, this lady is the most racist person I've heard this week. Damn. So you just heard her speak, criticizing the hell out of the white man to all hell and back. And after all of that shit she said, that's only the racist person you heard this week? What the fuck did you talk to last week? God damn, really? That's only this week, huh? Wow, who are you hanging around? Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Let me go to the next. Wow, most racist person I heard this week. Like, shit, I'm glad I wasn't around you last week. We appreciate your channel because you are willing to fight for both sides, sir. You guys are real kind today. Something must have happened. Is Charlie Kirk behind me smiling or something? You guys are real kind on YouTube. YouTube is particularly where my MAGA audience is. You guys can be real critical. I'm not getting that today. I'm not getting that for some reason today. Let me go back to the box. I will go straight to Dano Speaks. Good evening, Dano. Oh, hello, can you hear me now? Yes, we can. We doing a remake of the Verizon commercial.
Let me
Dano,
say
good
this,
evening.
buddy.
Or good afternoon.
I suppose she's a number one thinks that the black man needs reparations, right? Do you? This,
I didn't ask her. That's a good question. I'll have to ask her next time.
yeah, she's the problem. The left cannot handle the truth. She's got issues.
What did
That's
she
all I
say?
got to say.
What did she say to make you believe that the left cannot handle the truth as you state?
They can't. They can't. They're a bunch of crybaby liberals. They're a bunch of crybabies.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Give me fair enough. Let me rephrase it. Give me one truth that you're certain is true that the left cannot handle. Just one. We'll start with one right now.
They can't. They don't believe in God.
You really
They
believe?
don't believe in God.
You don't
God
think
is
you
God.
don't think anyone from the left believes in God?
They put on a front.
All of the listen, I'm from the south side of Chicago. There's churches every damn where. You think all of them people are putting on the front?
Not all of them.
Okay. So there's plenty of people on the left that believes in God.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you give me another one? Give me an I don't know if that one I don't know if that one's strong enough. Give me another truth that the left just won't accept.
They can't accept. They can't accept Donald Trump. They can't handle that. And he speaks truth. I think. I really do.
So you believe Trump?
The left is destroying our country. It's not the high prices of gas, high price of groceries. It's not the Republican Party. It's the left. That's not the Republican Party.
Okay, well, hang on. We'll tackle it. Hold on one second, real quick. Pixel Pixie says living by the sword is crazy and does not apply to Charlie Kirk. He was not violent. He spoke and was open to debate. Live by the sword reflects on those saying it and justifying assassination with Bible verses. I'm assuming you would agree with that, Dano? Charlie Kirk was not violent. He liked to debate.
He wasn't racist. He sure didn't. He wasn't white supremacist.
Well, this is the question I have on Charlie Kirk. I've spent the last 4 days or so listening to 4 or 5 days, almost a week, listening to full debates of Charlie Kirk. He debated a lot of folks in England, a lot of folks on college campus, because the first thing that came out with all of these controversial sound bites is you got to hear him in full context. I'm going to tell you my humble opinion. If you like Charlie Kirk, listening to him in full context is only going to make you like him more. If you hate Charlie Kirk, listening to him in full context is only going to make you hate him more. Now, whether or not he was racist or whatever the case may be, you never know what's in a person's heart. But here's what I need you to explain to me. Why did he have so many critical quotes of the black community, considering he didn't hang around the black community?
That's kind of a hard question.
I mean, cause that's what we're saying is that, you know, you can't just take sound bites. You got to listen to him in full. You got to listen to him and get to know him in full
I don't
context.
hate nobody.
That ain't what I'm asking you. I'm talking about him. Why? Because he only went by sound bites on the black community. You're not in the neighborhood, so you're not seeing it in full context. You're going by news snippings, what you hear from the right, maybe what you hear on Fox. He was actually judging the black community based on sound bites. So that's what's happening to him.
Life is what you make it. You know,
Yeah.
You got to go out there and hustle. You got to go out and hustle.
Yeah. And I see in the comments, Jack Ripper saying he hung around Candace Owens. He did hang around Kanye West as well. Last time Kanye West was seen, he was wearing a swastika as a necklace. So I don't know if that necessarily adds a lot to the fire. Big Dog, appreciate the TikTok cap, helping your boy get his goals. Thank you. So you don't really know, Dano, why he has so many critical comments of the black community, considering he had little to no association with the black community.
No, I don't.
How should the black community view that? How should the black community view someone has affiliation with them, is constantly known to have made quotes that were negative of their community? How do you think blacks should view that?
I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
Okay. Then, okay, I get you don't see Charlie Kirk as a racist. I'm not disputing.
No, I don't.
Right, I get that. I get that. But I am asking you, considering that this guy had a hell of a lot of negative quotes about a community he didn't hang around, how do you think that community should view him? I mean, if all they have from him is negative quotes, What are they supposed to do with that?
Well, maybe they haven't done their research. Maybe that's it.
I have, and there are no positive quotes out there. I have done the. Did you hear me say I've been listening to his debates and stuff for about a week?
I'm just saying, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the other black folks.
Okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. But I'm going to tell you, based on my analyzation, if you do extensive research into Charlie Kirk, if you are concerned about all of the quotes he's had about the black community, and you indulge in some extensive research on Charlie Kirk, it ain't gonna clear that up. Because like I said, I've been listening to a bunch of his debates and stuff. He hasn't cleared any of that up. I don't know why he has the notion to continue saying all this negative stuff about the black community when you're not affiliated with them, you're not associated with anyone from that community. I don't know why you're speaking on it so much. And I don't know what the goal is either, by the way. Okay, so you say I think you said black culture has fell off since the Civil Rights Act. Okay, what is the purpose of saying that? If you're not in that neighborhood, you're not hanging around that culture, what is the purpose of even saying that?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, let me ask it to you this way, as someone who is not black. If you did not hang around any blacks, you didn't have any black friends or associates, but you did. I know, this is fictional. If you're someone that is not black, does not hang around the black community, has no friends or associates in the black community, but you are a big follower of Charlie Kirk, how would he lead you to think the black community are?
Well, I've been a few black communities.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm saying someone who follows Charlie Kirk. This is a fictional presentation. Okay. Someone who does not hang around blacks or associate with them at all, but they're a big fan of Charlie Kirk. If you went by what Charlie Kirk is saying with no association or affiliation to the black community, what would it lead you to think about the black community?
Well, I don't know. It depends what.
How could you not know any of this, but you're sure the guy's not a racist?
Well, I believe he's not.
Okay, but you don't know, but you don't have any answers to any of this other stuff.
He's not living anymore. How can you dwell on somebody that is not living anymore? And this thing that the guy that killed unalived Charlie Kirk, and they're saying that he belonged to MAGA. He wasn't MAGA. He was his left. You know?
I mean, I see pictures with the guy holding rocket launchers and 50 cows. That don't look like typical left to me.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's just end it to that. I just had to speak my mind. I don't have all the answers, but I think we all need to come together, and our country's in a big freaking mess. It really is. And I love everybody. God bless you. God bless America. And I hope things get better.
Dano Speaks.
I feel they will be.
Appreciate it. My door's always open to you, man. Good conversation. Come on back anytime. Thank you. Thank you. And I agree with him. We do all need to come together. I don't know if we voted for that, but I agree with my last caller. We do need to come together. Unity would make this country stronger. Certainly a lot more stronger than division, secession, or God forbid a civil war, which is what a lot of people are saying. We need to come together. I just think that, as I stated, I don't think we voted for that. And here's what I mean by that, and I'll continue on with the program. Tap the screen. We should be around at 30,000. Get your boy up to 30. THURDY 30. Get your boy up to 30,000. Tap the screen. If you enjoy this type of civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, you know what I always say. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Everyone gets to speak. You can be critical of anyone on this damn program, including yours truly. If you like this open dialogue, feel free to follow the program. If you're watching on TikTok, give your boy a sub. If you're watching on YouTube, share the live. Thank you for doing that, Jay Trendify. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe we voted for that. Charlie Kirk goes down in one of the worst ways imaginable. In front of a viral audience. Yeah, there are people celebrating it. That's fucked up. People are crying. That's really sad. I believe, and this is my humble opinion, maybe some of you folks think I'm getting this wrong, and you can let me know in the comments. But I believe, and I see in the comments, yeah, somebody said we did not vote for this. I believe that was a time for President Trump to go on television and make it clear free speech does not warrant anyone using a weapon against another American citizen. Free speech is in the Constitution. It's your very First Amendment right. No one should be punished for simply uttering words. We need to come together at this horrible time and figure out what we have in common as opposed to what we disagree with. A unifying message. That's what I believe we should have voted for. That's what I believe what we should have. President Trump went on television and started talking about it's the radical left and they're, somehow, some way committing terroristic acts and they're destroying the country. And he stated that before we even knew who Tyler Robinson was. So when I say we did not vote for unity, I'm just simply giving it to you based on President Trump's message. One of the most awful assassinations that we've seen since probably John F. Kennedy, very graphic, and that's the message that President Trump gives while everyone is either incredibly angry or grieving their asses off. He gets on television and that's the message he gives. So I'm going to make it clear we didn't vote for unity. I don't think he knows how to do that. Trump is voting for rallying, or what do they used to call it, circling the wagons. That's what Trump is talking about doing, circling the wagons. He's not talking about we need to come together. So we didn't vote for unity. Anyway, looking in the comments, though, reparations are for losers. America is not for losers. I don't know if you really know the history of reparations, Adam, because I'll tell you this. Black people are pretty much the only group that has not got reparations. So when you say reparations are for losers, do you realize slave owners ended up receiving reparations because they lost their property? So they were trying to make them somewhat financially whole because they lost their property. They lost their free labor. So they got reparations. We know the Japanese that were put in intern camps after World War II, they received reparations. The Native Americans have received various forms of reparations. So when you say reparations are for losers, I don't think you really realize the history of reparations in America. A lot of people have gotten reparations. It's just not the African American community. Charlie Kirk best friends are black, says Zach C. Who was his best friends? Only, listen, if Charlie Kirk's best friends were, and thank you, Zach C. If Charlie Kirk's best friends were black, where are all the video footage? Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk had a business venture together, which is not the Heritage Foundation, Turning Point. They worked together. I'm sure they may have been friends as well, but outside of Candace Owens, who are these black friends you're talking about? There's a lot of video footage out there of Charlie Kirk hanging out and doing things. Where are all of the video footage of him hanging around his best friends that were black that you're talking about? The best friends are not speaking out, says Coletta. Yeah, I would like to know why. I would like to know why they ain't speaking out. If his best friends were black. Get your boy up to 30,000. We'll take the next caller at 30,000. A black best friend wouldn't excuse racism. What the fuck? I'll leave it at that. And that is something to ponder, because you could go into the home of a slave master and they would have had a black person in the kitchen cooking dinner, maybe a black person nursing the kid to sleep. It just looked like they were really good with black people. And then when you look at what they actually were, so just because somebody's hanging around black people don't always tell the tale. But if his best friends were black, as you're stating, where's the footage? Brandon Tatum. Is that Officer Tatum, Zach C? Yeah, Officer Tatum did give a very moving tribute to the loss of Charlie Kirk. He was in tears. I did see that, Zach. And Officer Tatum did state that they were really good friends. So I'll give you that. Officer Tatum is obviously a conservative, really big YouTube channel, really big social media platform. He did say that. I forgot about Officer Tatum. He was really in tears describing how he felt about the loss of Charlie Kirk. Tap the screen. And by the way, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Are we at 30? Almost. He was a white Christian nationalist, says Mr. Worski. Yikes. Well, the white Christian nationalist thing, I guess it needs to be explained, because the outsiders of the folks described them as in a different way than they would actually cop to themselves. And by the way, for folks who are asking how do you call in, if you have TikTok, go to the Handsome Liberal. That's where we're broadcasting live. Top Dog, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. He spoke that language, says Mr. Whiskey. Okay, I know what you mean. Top Dog, good afternoon.
What's up, Tim?
You know what I always say, hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. Listen, this is an open forum, so we're taking any topic, any forum. But do you see Charlie Kirk as righteous, propelling free speech, or do you see him the way some African Americans are claiming, saying he's racist?
I definitely see him as a racist, Tim. But your last caller, Tim, he set the prime example of the issue that the black family have with people like him and Black MAGA. You just broke down all the things and showing this man could be racist, and what did he just keep saying?
He said he's not racist.
That's our problem with that community right there. When we show it to them and they face to him, they still dance around it. So you saying we stupid, we crazy. That's the problem I have with Black MAGA and people that support Charlie Kirk right there. You show them all these racist videos and comments, and you still say, "Nah, he ain't racist. He ain't racist." So what do you think? So we all stupid. We all looking at the same video, and so we must be crazy. We must be in our feelings. No, he's you know what he's doing. Like I tell people like this, Tim. Since he's not, we showing you multiple videos of him saying racist and towards the black community. All I asked him to do, Tim, this is what I asked him to do. Show me one video of Charlie Kirk talking positive about the black community.
Yeah. I made a video. Yeah, I made a video of that. Asking, we've seen a lot of controversial clips from Charlie Kirk saying a lot of negative things about the black community. Can anybody put together like a montage of him saying positive sound bites of the black community? And somebody in the comments said you would need AI for that. So I'm like, God damn. No, I haven't seen, like I said, I've been studying him for I've been really watching, I've probably watched about 20 hours of Charlie Kirk over the last week. I don't see him saying anything positive about that. I seen a black woman bring a baby up to talk to him, and he was really, he really adored, how adorable the little baby was. That was, I guess, because somebody sent that to me. But in regards to him saying positive things about the black community, I can't find anything.
Well, like you just asked your last guest, Tim. You asked him. You said, if why would he talk so negative about this community? What would be a reason why he would talk negative about this community? The reason why you talk negative about anything, Tim, you don't like it. You don't like it. When you talk negative about anything, a car, a woman, a building, anything in this world, and you continue to talk negative about it, more than likely you don't like it. Yeah. That's why you're talking negative about it.
But how about this in the comments? Someone, this damn fly in my face. Grant said, I rarely say positives about anything. That wasn't the point of his channel. So, in other words, I don't really speak positively. I mean, what is the point of his channel? Only say negative shit? Because he's saying plenty of negative stuff. I don't know. Because listen, we debate. I debate with everybody, right, left, and indifferent. I say positive shit and negative shit. There is virtually no topic out there where I only speak negative of. I can't think of anything. MAGA, independents, libertarians. There's no group out there where I can think of where all of my comments about that group are negative. So I don't know, but why do you think it? Because you mentioned Black MAGA too, there, Top Dog. Why do you think even Black MAGA does not see? Because you're saying Charlie Kirk is racist in your opinion. Why do you think Black MAGA don't see it?
Because, like I tell my Black MAGA friends, you're not going to admit to me that he's racist. Same way you won't admit to me that Trump's racist. The same way you won't do it because you know what's going to come behind that. You're going to hear my mouth and say, "I told you. We told you this."
What would be the benefit of an African American because if you're saying you think MAGA's racist, what would be the benefit of an African American associating with a group that you're saying is racist and not being willing to admit it? What do they gain out of that?
They wanted to be different. They thought going to the other side, and they thought everything was going to be different. Some of my friends did it for their pocketbooks. Some of them I feel in their heart they have
They feel that a black, even though they're black themselves, Tim, they have an issue because, like I tell them, you voted for Hillary. That was a white woman, but you won't vote for a black woman. So that tells me that you got an issue, you got a complex probably with black women. You know, it's a lot of things, Tim.
Well, you know, I've gotten criticized because I've said I don't think the reason Kamala Harris lost was solely because she was a black woman. I think she was a bad candidate. I mean, she didn't do a lot of interviews. The ones she did were in friendly areas, and she still didn't answer the questions very well. I mean, a lot of people didn't know her. I think there was other things about Kamala Harris. Not to mention Joe Biden only giving her 107 days to do her thing was terrible. Even she wrote that in her book that's bad. So. And then, of course, she criticized the Biden administration of not even trying to sell her properly. So I think there's a whole lot of factors that go into why Kamala Harris lost, other than her just being a woman or being black. But real quick, Zach C in the comments says, since Charlie Kirk spoke facts about fatherless homes and crime rates, he's supposed to be racist? No, you just cannot handle the truth. Quoting Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. So he's saying that all Charlie Kirk was doing was speaking the truth. And apparently the African-American community is viewing him as racist and can't handle that. What say you?
Okay, it's real simple. If he said that was one statement he said about the black community, we wouldn't call that racist. He's speaking facts. But when you go out to everything you say negative about the black community, that's when we call you racist.
Yeah.
If he just made one statement about the black community, no, that wouldn't bother no. I mean, it is what it is. But when you continue and you made your money, he made his money off using degrading black people, and then, like I said, you try to go out to the top, some of the most educated black women in America at this time. So if you're calling them stupid, you know what? Like you said, what are you calling the next black woman? You call some of our top women right now in America, some of the most educated, esteemed women that we have, black women, and you're degrading them for no reason.
Yeah, I will say, everything Charlie Kirk said is not statements I disagree with, such as African-American children would be more beneficial coming up in two-parent households. So the fatherless home thing I agree with. But when you start saying stuff like BLM equals burn, loot, and murder, and Juneteenth shouldn't be a federal holiday, he said things that I do lean more towards what you're saying on. But you can pick out some of his critiques of the black community, and they're true. I mean, some of them are true, but as you rightfully pointed out, I do question, why are there so many? Like, why are you saying so much shit about this community?
What I want the right to understand is this right here. When you're pro-white like he was, you have to be racist. You have to be racist. And I'm going to give him an example on the black side. The black side, we have somebody the same way. Louis Farrakhan. He's the same. I look at him no different than Charlie Kirk. If you want to be that far with your people, you have to be racist.
And I just bought a final call. But yeah, I agree with you about Farrakhan. I agree with you about Farrakhan.
They both love their people, and they spoke power into their people. Yeah. To me, they're the same caliber for their people. And in order to speak that type of power, you have to put your race number one. And that's what they were doing, both of
them. Yeah, I don't totally disagree with that, but I guess I'm back to the original question. I don't see how you and a lot of African Americans see Charlie Kirk one way, and his supporters just see him as a loving. I mean, you guys have such a vastly different opinion of this guy. It does make me wonder how that arises like that.
What? It's real simple, Tim. It ain't no different how on the left we feel about Donald Trump. We feel the same way that they feel about Donald Trump. We feel about Charlie Kirk. How could you vote for that? How can you support that?
I don't even think. You know, the thing is, I don't even think Donald Trump, and he's been on the scene a lot longer nationally than Charlie Kirk is. I don't even think Donald Trump has as many controversial statements as Charlie Kirk. I don't think you can he said some controversial shit, but because
once again. But Tim, that's the thing. That's why they love Charlie Kirk. That's why they love him. All those white men, that's why they love him. You know why? Because he's saying what they want to say. He can say it. He's saying how we really feel. If you support Charlie Kirk, that means you support what he's saying. He's saying what we won't say, what we can't say because I have a job, I have kids, or whatever it may be. He's saying what they want to say. He's preaching white power for his people, and they like it.
Yeah, but what about the Christian aspect? Zach C says he wasn't pro-white; he was pro-Christian American. There's a hell of a lot of African Americans that are Christian. What about the religious aspect?
He was pro-white, he was religious and all that, but he still was a racist. You can be all three of those, Ken.
Yeah, and I see in the
You know, and also let me just say this to the people in the world. Just because you deal with black people like a Candace Owen or Officer Tatum, come on, you gotta stop playing with me.
the way you
Y'all
said
gotta
his
stop playing
name.
with me. Like y'all make it seem like he's sitting down with Farrakhan or somebody. You know what I mean? You know, somebody like that. He's sitting down with Officer Tatum and Candace Owen that feel the same way he feel. And the way that the black community, Democrats look at Candace Owen and Officer Tatum, I don't even have to say it. You know how we look at them. We know what Officer Tatum doing.
I mean, you do raise it.
Tatum just getting the money.
You
That's all
do.
he doing, Tim. Officer Tatum, he just getting that money.
I mean,
Go ahead.
you do raise an interesting point, because while we're sitting here criticizing all the things that Charlie Kirk may have said about the black community, the folks we're talking about now, Officer Tatum and Candace Owens, they also have a whole laundry list of quotes that I mean, anytime you hear Candace Owens talking about the black community, it's usually negative. I mean, so they kind of, you are kind of right. They do the same thing he does.
Well, it's just like, you know, back in slavery, you had to have the ones in the house, you had the ones in the field. Candace Owens to Officer Tatum, they in the house, you know. They taking off their boots, you know, running their bath water, you know, doing shit like that. You know what I mean? Making the coffee, you know, tucking them in bed, you know, feeding the babies and shit like that.
Tucking them in bed. Were people really doing that? Tucking them in bed? Damn.
They was tucking the kids in bed, putting the kids to sleep.
Yeah.
So you had those type of people, and then you got them right now. That's your Officer Tatum, and that's your Candace Owens. And it is what it is. That's your Black MAGA. You know, but let me say this though, Tim. A lot of my black MAGA friends, they're not happy with Trump right now, with the economy and, you know, with the wars and things like that. So they haven't switched over, but they more kind of starting to seeing like, damn, he ain't doing what we thought he was gonna do.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Most of the black MAGA I talk to are still quite pleased with President Trump. I mean, I've seen some people that are starting to question some of his actions, but it's usually not black MAGA. I got to move it on, Top Dog, as always. Pleasure talking to you.
Okay, Tim, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Anytime, man. Thank you. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Let's see if we can do 45,000. You can certainly do that if you let your thumbs not be lazy. I see your comment, Zach. See, you said he wasn't pro-white, he was pro-Christian. Starch Manning, that's a hell of a name. When your Christian friend, you know, crazy thing, it's starting to rain out here, so it's messing with my screen. When your Christian friend and you tell me Trump is not racist, I say willful ignorance. When you say Charlie Kirk isn't, I can't unsee pattern. So you're saying when people tell you. When people tell you that Trump is not racist, you see that they're being willingly ignorant. So in other words, you should see it, and I know you see it, but you're just pretending to be ignorant and pretend like you don't see him being racist. That's what he's saying here. And he says, when you say the same thing about Charlie Kirk, I can't unsee the pattern that I've seen in the way you're being willingly ignorant with Trump. How many of you folks agree with that? Yes or no in the comments. Tap the screen. That's a strong statement. I see Moraz said that's not true, though. If Charlie Kirk was racist, it would have showed. Not really. Listen, I'm not going to, I'll reserve my opinion on this, but I will just say this. You can be racist and it not show. I mean, look at Joe Biden and his administration. I mean, he was appointing black people every damn where. One of the first Supreme Court justices, Natanji Brown. Obviously, he's responsible for helping Obama become president. He's obviously the one that chose the first female black vice president in Kamala Harris. Yet, it didn't stop the right from calling him racist. So if you can see Charlie Kirk hanging around Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or Kanye West and use that as a reason to so he's not racist, then how the hell did you come to the conclusion that Joe Biden was racist? Just simply from vote for me or you ain't black. And by the way, if you can see racism and vote for me or you ain't black, I'm sure you've heard some more controversial statements than that, and you're probably just excluding them. I'm just going to say that vote for me, you ain't black is kind of mild compared to some of the things we've seen over the last couple of weeks. You sound like you're insisting to keep the victim mentality. Carlos, explain that. Let me know what you mean. I'm insisting to keep the victim mentality. Matthew is the shooter. Matthew who? Charlie went from propaganda mouthpiece to propaganda corpse. Wildflower. Damn. I don't. He's not propaganda in death though. Joe Biden gave the Grand Dragon KKK's eulogy. True. You're talking about Senator Robert Byrd, but and I'll go back. I'll go back to the box. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 40,000. We can definitely do that at least 40,000. Tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. In regards to Senator Byrd and President Biden being at his funeral, that story is incomplete. It is true that Biden was there, but I believe Jesse Jackson and Obama were there also. And if you look up Senator Byrd, you will realize that towards the end of his life, he made amends with the black community and was even in standing with the NAACP. All of that don't come out though. They show you his awful past of being part of the KKK. Then they skip several years and then they go to the funeral with Biden being there. But if you look at the end of Senator Byrd's life, you'll find out he actually had made amends with the black community, and I believe Jesse Jackson and Obama were at his funeral as well. So look it up. You'll find out that you're not being told the whole story on that. Starch Manning, as a white person in the South, the stuff Charlie says, and the denial of redlining and the denial of racism as a concept. That's about whiteness, not truth. Wait a minute, let me read that again, Starch. You says, as a white in the South, the stuff Charlie says and the denial of redlining. He denies redlining? Wow. I mean, Jesus. And the denial of racism as a concept. That's about whiteness. That's not about truth. We've always been a country where people deny racism. I mean, even during slavery, people were saying, look, appreciate that, mama. Thank you. That's good shit. Thank you. Even during slavery, people were saying, look, they're getting free housing, free food. I don't see what the problem is. So there's always been a pushback. There's no era in U.S. history where African Americans were not complaining about conditions and there were not a substantial amount of white people stating, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't know what they're complaining about. Same thing when Martin Luther King would go into these towns and organize protests and things like that. The pushback was, we've given them freedom. I don't know what, these colored folks are fine until he comes here stirring up trouble. Now they won't vote voting rights. I mean, these people are never happy. That was what they were saying. So I don't think we're ever going to get past the time when people are complaining about racism. And we're never going to get past the time when people are denying racism. It's always been that way. No more free housing, free debt. No more free housing, free debit cards, free health care under taxpayers' expense. Thanks, Trump. Big, beautiful win. Paul, I don't know about that one. I'll entertain your comment. We're almost at 40,000. I'll take the next caller. But your comment says, and it's in caps, no more free housing, free debit cards, free health care under taxpayers' expense. Thanks, Trump. Big, beautiful win. Let me say the reason why I see that to be kind of concerning. When President Trump got elected, the whole notion was we're going to get out of overseas issues. We're going to take care of America first. We're going to stop sending money to the Ukraine. We're going to stop sending money to fraudulent places like USAID. We're going to get out these immigrants who are living off the dole. We're going to kick all of these, these illegals out who are, getting these entitlement programs and stop doing that. We're going to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. We're going to focus on taking care of Americans first. And we've done most of that since Trump has gotten elected. We ended USAID. We're not sending shit to Ukraine anymore. We've kicked out a hell of a lot of immigrants. It's virtually impossible for them to get any kind of entitlements now. And we fired a ton of federal workers. So my question is to you folks, when do we get to the part about taking care of Americans first? You're saying no more free housing, free debit cards, free healthcare under taxpayers' expense. All of that shit's going to Americans. So are you telling me that we don't want to take care of people overseas or Americans? Where is the part about taking care of Americans at? I mean, in other words, we're going to bring all our money back home and we ain't going to share shit with you either. It just sounds to me like you're saying we don't want to take care of no damn body. We're not helping anybody out. That's what I'm hearing. Real quick in the comments, if you want reparations, ask Africa. It's their fault. It's not Africa's fault. To me, Blaming Africa for slavery would be like some of these folks who would go over to Cambodia because they wanted to indulge in sex with an underage minor, and somebody's mom would sell their child to an American so that that person could have their own fun with this kid. And, well, don't blame us, blame Cambodia. No, you don't get to blame Africa. You don't get to blame Cambodia for something you knew was wrong when you were doing it. It's not Africa's fault. I don't care if Africa passes a law that legalizes slavery. You read your Bible. You have family. You have morals. You know what the fuck you're doing is wrong. Just because somebody sells you some shit, that's like saying I can go and rob the bank if they leave the doors unlocked. It's still wrong to go in there and steal somebody else's shit. Not to mention, I've said this many times, that if chickens spoke English, there would be less people in this country that ate chickens. Because you're holding this thing in your hand, you're about to eat it, or you're about to cook it, and it's telling you, I got hands, I got a family, please don't do this to me. These people spoke in your native fucking language. People are telling you, you got a 15-year-old, 14-year-old telling you, it hurts when you penetrate me. You're gonna tell me you're gonna blame Africa for that shit? They're thousands of miles away. You're in some kind of shed taking advantage of a young child, and well, Africa's at fault for what I'm doing. Get the fuck out of here. You know what you're doing is wrong. If you want to come up with an excuse to justify it, go with that. But you know this guy that's in the field that is telling you he don't hurt himself and he can't work no more, and you're beating him and telling him to do it anyway. You blaming Africa for what you're doing to that guy? Really? You're telling me Africa sold you his great-grandfather 3 generations ago? You beating him out in the field, and you gonna blame Africa for doing that 100 years ago? Look, I'll just simply say, any excuse is better than none, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, looking in the comments, tap the screen. I'll go to the next caller as we speak. Blaming Africa. It's kind of funny, though. Sherbert, good evening. Welcome to the program. Let's blame Africa. What was the South Park? Blame Canada. Good evening, good afternoon, Sherbert.
How's it going, Tim?
I don't know, because somebody put in the comments the host is dumb. I'm not doing a good job here today.
I don't know about that. Well, let me say something first. Handsome conservative, get fucked trying to dox me.
What was the rest of that?
He tried to dox me. He was asking people to find out where I work after I talked about Charlie Kirk falling exactly in line with them being terrible people.
Yeah, there's a lot of
that guy.
There's a lot of doxing going around. My God, people getting doxed. I mean, MAGA's having fun with that shit.
I don't understand why they think it's okay. They do the most horrible shit and then somehow say, oh, it's the liberals. Get fucked. I may not be the nicest person in the things I say, but I'm a good person in that I don't hurt people. I don't antagonize people. I just don't like when racist people are being held up as a deity right now.
Well, you know what they're saying? They're saying this guy did not have a racist bone in his body, and liberals are making this shit up.
They're also the dumbasses that said, oh, we should get rid of the CFPB. Thinkers will never screw us over. You idiots.
What are you suggesting, that MAGA doesn't have a lot of intelligence or something?
No, of course not. When you get rid of all the guardrails to keep large corporations from fucking you and then go, oh, we should give more money to these corporations now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I see somebody in the comments ask, why did, I think Sean the Grayfish says, why did black universities lock down? Because they were fucking with them. They were pissed off at what happened to Charlie Kirk. They felt it was somebody that was liberal. They didn't know who it was, so they went after something they were certain would be liberal, which is an HBCU. That's why it was done. They just made for good targets, the HBCUs did. But
it's very clear that the Conservative Party very much wants to go to war. They want to fight people. They want everyone to feel their pain, even though it's their leaders that are making everyone feel pain right now.
But they're going to say with the death of Charlie Kirk, it's the liberals are the ones that are violent. That's what Trump is saying. Is he not?
Say all they want. Trump is the violent one. I don't know where they say the liberals are being violent.
What's making you say Trump is violent?
Let's go with the bombing in Iran. Let's go with the blowing up the speedboat that clearly couldn't have been carrying drugs to America. So, it was 1,200 miles away, and that boat can't make it. It's just very clear with their attitudes. With once Kirk had died, he came out and said, "Oh, it's these radical, violent liberals," and then Stephen Miller comes out and goes, "It's war, let's go."
Yeah.
It's very clear who wants to start the fight.
Yeah, but
Who's sitting at the corner of the bar, holding that bottle, about to smash it on the corner.
yeah, but while you're saying that, people are saying, like Charlie Rock in the comments is saying that, you know, Trump don't sustain 3 assassination attempts. Has it been 3?
Okay.
Was it 3?
I think there might have been a third that was very unsuccessful, but I don't really.
I know there's a
that.
guy on the golf course, obviously the guy that pierced his ear. Who's the third one?
I don't know.
Haven't
But
heard.
they're victims. They want to be victims, even though Trump says the most hateful and dumb shit on the planet.
Victims? Are you saying
And then,
that? Wait.
somebody didn't like me. Oh, it must be their fault.
Victims? Are you suggesting that MAGA has victim mentality now?
100. They're the most snowflakey snowflakes that ever snowflake.
That's a
What are you
mouthful.
talking about?
Snowflakey snowflakes that has ever snowflake. That's a mouthful. I thought it was the liberals that were snowflakes and couldn't handle the truth.
If they weren't snowflakes, they wouldn't be trying to dox me and all of the other people and trying to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel for saying a very benign comment.
Do you think?
If they weren't so afraid, then they'd be able to stand on 10 toes. But no, they're going sneaky and pulling mob tactics and being little bitches.
How about now? I want to ask you. This is somewhat off topic, but I want to ask you this because I guess it plays to potentially my authenticity. Falcon spoke in the comments, says the host is okay with it all, yet Trump would never let the host sit at his dinner table. So he's saying that I'm okay with something. What is he getting at? I'm okay with something, even though I guess I'm pro-Trump, even though Trump wouldn't let me sit at his dinner table. I guess that's what he's saying. I don't know. I guess he's questioning my authenticity here or something. Don't know,
Tim. Unless you have about $1 million to donate to sit at that table, he would never sit with you.
Well, he might sit with me. I mean, you think Trump would never have dinner with a black man?
Not unless you were paying him.
Kanye West didn't pay him.
I totally disagree, but I don't have proof.
Yeah. I mean, I would listen. He's the president of the United States. I would be honored to sit down with anybody that has, access to the presidential seal. I mean, I've been to a couple of Trump rallies. I mean, I wanted to see what it was like.
As we should all see from both sides and understand what's actually happening. And when MAGA won't do anything except say that we're the most evil people on the planet and calling for violence, even though almost nobody is doing that, we've got all of the hateful conservatives that they will never say that they are on their side. And then for some reason, me just saying, I really didn't like Charlie Kirk. Yes, I'm now the problem. I'm the radical. Fuck everyone.
Well, but when you say the left is being hateful, like I said, they're bringing up that they believe that Charlie Kirk was taken out by the left. Obviously, now you got President Trump facing assassination attempts. They're going to say the left is showing actual propensity for violence. I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and they can say whatever they want. They also said that Trump won the 2020 election.
That is true. That is true. And I don't know where that came from, and I still don't know where it comes from. But they still believe that. They actually still do believe that.
No snowflakey snowflakes.
So what do you think? Do you think something, because you mentioned Jimmy Kimmel earlier, do you think he's permanently gone? Do you think there will be others?
Oh, there will be others. And then they're going to get the FCC, I think, is going to get sued for discrimination. They're not allowed to pull this horseshit and mob mentality of, hey, you better do what I say or else you're going to lose your license.
Do you feel the courts will rule in their favor, or might the courts rule on the side of the FCC?
I hope. I mean, I really don't know. It very much depends on which judge gets it. So, like, if Eileen Cannon gets it, we're all fucked.
Wow.
But if we get a more, moderate person, then who knows?
Now, I guess okay, let's say Eileen or somebody gets it that's favorable to the FCC. I guess my question after that would be, if you can rule that the FCC has the right to take a broadcasting license away from anybody that is, I guess, not fair to Trump, so to speak, how do you prevent state TV from arising? How do you prevent?
You don't.
Yeah, because I don't see that. All of a sudden, the FCC now can take away licenses if they don't believe you're saying the right things. I mean, So at that point, from that point on, you're going to see a hell of a lot more TV that's favorable to Trump.
Tim, we're already on the edge of the authoritarian dictatorship. So, no, once this gets ruled by the courts that they're allowed to just take anybody off for saying slightly mean things, then it's over. There will be no more free speech.
But MAGA often cites the Constitution. Don't you think MAGA wants free speech? I mean, you hear what they're saying about Charlie Kirk. MAGA does not want to lose free speech, do they?
Well, Tim, they're forgetting that the organization of power will shift to the other side. So they don't care. They're going to run and take a mile, even though they're saying they only want to take an inch. And then when it comes around to the other side, they're going to be bitching and moaning like they always do. They called Kamala Harris a fascist, communist, Marxist fascist, about 1 million times.
Yeah.
Even though there has been zero evidence of any of that shit. They're just the crybaby little bitches.
Crybaby little bit. Well, before I'm moving on from you, in the comments, your friend, the handsome conservative, says America does not have a dictator. I don't think you know what a dictator actually is. What say you?
I don't think he understands then. He's clearly blinded by what's going on. All of the political stuff going on right now is not normal.
It's
This has
new. It is
become
new.
normal
It is new.
because people like him want it to be on their side of the power structure. But this is not normal. We have gotten so freaking far away from that. And there's about 1 million examples I could bring up, but I'm not best with holding on to each little story. But Jesus, if you think I don't understand what a dictator is, then you're clearly not listening to the people that study dictatorships and took the fuck off about 6 months ago.
Yeah. I would ask first thing I would ask someone in that situation is, give me your definition of a dictator. I don't want you to give me somebody that's a dictator. Give me what qualities make up a dictator, and then that's where I would have the conversation go from. I got to move it on, Sherbert. Go ahead.
Consolidation of power to one person and will destroy someone for even talking against that domination of power. And it's very clear that's happening.
Well said, Sherbert. As always, been a pleasure.
Have a good night, Tim.
You too. You
Fuck
too.
the handsome.
Oh my God! He said, "Fuck the handsome conservative." I did hear that. The left started blocking freedom of speech when Biden was in office. Let me know how, Joseph Sutherland. How did the left block freedom of speech under Biden? Starch Manning says it's because they think they have God on their side. And Fox News has created the liberal enemy for 30 years. Christian nationalism, they are victimized. So you are saying that Christian nationalists see themselves as victims. I've been a Fox News watcher. I make that clear on many programs that I'm still a big Fox News watcher. And yeah, they do make the liberals out to be enemies. I mean, just like MSNBC does it in reverse. But yeah, the Fox News network is very anti-liberal. That part is true. I can't deny that. People are starving in North Korea. Okay, what is that coming up for? I don't know. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I see you there, Paul. We are Charlie Kirk, says Christopher Kilpatrick. Damn. Z1NA says Nuremberg 2028. So America could face its own version of the Nuremberg trials. What was the common pushback? I was just following orders. See if that works. 2028, Nuremberg trials, 2028. We'll see. A dictator reigns for decades. Well, that's not going to happen under Trump. Even if Trump is a dictator, you can't dictate your way out of father time. I mean, Trump is, he'll be 80 years old next year, I believe. So he's not going to, you can't beat father time. So for anybody on the left that is concerned that Trump is trying to be a dictator or something like that, that is one thing you have going for you. Father time. I mean, a max of probably 10 years at the most, max. So you do have father time. Somebody said fix the audio. Let me see if I can do. I think it's raining a little bit now, but I don't know how to fix the audio. I'm not on Trump Wi-Fi. I'm out in it. I don't know why is it saying static. Hang on a second. On YouTube, can you guys hear me okay on YouTube? No, I'm not on the iPhone. Audio bad. Don't know what happened. I can reset it. I may have to reset it. He got a metal dictator thing going. I don't know what happened. It's raining out here. That may be something to do with it. You have been silenced. Audio is bad. What the fuck happened? Give me a second on YouTube, folks. I'm just trying to see. Because it asked me a while ago to turn down some background noise or something like that, but it's not giving me that option now. Um, Audio's not good. Let me see here. Get your ass back in the car. Can you hear me now? If not, I'm going to reset the live on TikTok. Biden and Harris threaten all platforms. What is going on? People in the media are spreading straight out lies and need to be accountable. Are you able to hear me fairly well? Let me know. I didn't do shit for the audio to get bad. So who is leaving the USA? We'll see. If the audio is bad, it ain't because I'm doing anything. The phones are sitting where they're sitting. So anyway, you can stop the messenger, but you can never stop the message. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Well, here's the point, Paul. What was the message of Charlie Kirk? You say that you can stop the you can stop the messenger, but you can never stop the message. What was his message? Let me know on TikTok, if you will. I'll reset the live and see if that makes a difference. I didn't do shit. I didn't move or anything. I got the best Samsung there is. So somebody said get an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Nothing to do with the phone. I'm thinking maybe it's drizzling. I don't know if that's having an effect on it or what, but no. Let me see. Okay, I'll reset the live on TikTok and I'll entertain you guys on YouTube while that's happening. These should be more than there should be more than two parties. I agree with you there, Ian. We have the illusion of choice. They want us divided and we're falling for it. That is true. 100% true. Imagine going on the news in 1968 and saying black people killed Martin Luther King and then laughing about it. That's a good point. That's a strong point. You know, my guess is that probably happened, to be honest with you. That's a great topic. I'm gonna bring that up when I reset this live. He says, imagine people.
Hey guys, hold on. We got his favorite song right here.
I want to hear this. This is a TikTok. Oh, Coons and Jiggables. Okay, I'm gonna restart the live. There was a bunch of people at, I guess, some type of protest, and some were pro-Trump. Some people had fuck Trump flags up. Okay, let me see if I'm just going to start the live and see if it comes back on. Anyway, let me talk to you folks on YouTube. You started the cancel culture, true, and you started the ones that were criticizing it, saying it was wrong. Now all of a sudden you guys are in favor of it. Look, let me just say it this way. I think it's a case of everybody hates what's being done to them until they're in a position to do it to others. That's the way I see it. Cancel culture is wrong. Censoring free speech is wrong. Expanding your powers, big government, all of that stuff is wrong until you're in a position to do it to somebody else. And then you're suddenly able to, because I'm just going to tell you right off the bat. Cancel culture was something really, that really pissed off the right. They're totally okay with it now. Like one of my viewers said, people are getting doxxed and everything on the left. They're totally okay with it. Hate speech. You got your right to free speech, but you're not entitled to hate speech. There's a whole lot of far-right groups over the last year or two that have been walking down the streets of America openly stating hate speech. It was totally okay, but now that the left is involved in hate speech, suddenly you don't like hate speech. I think the point is, everybody is for free speech until you say some shit they don't want to hear. And then they're not for free speech anymore. That's how it is. Everybody, if Trump gets on social media and says some awful shit, some mean tweets, it's free speech. He's allowed to do it. But then a liberal gets on there and does it to him, then it's hate. Look, look, if you get in the mud, you should expect to get dirty. That's the way I look at it. If you get in the mud, you should expect to get dirty. Robert Kennedy says, you are a Marxist. State your reasons why, Kennedy. State your reasons why. I appreciate your input. State your reasons why you view me, your humble correspondent, as a Marxist. Let me know. I'm not a know-it-all. Maybe you got something I don't know. Let me know. I'll reach your reasons, and if you got me, I'll admit it. Rampant sexism, traditional and rigid gender roles are enforced. Fascist regimes often promote a patriarchal and misogynistic view of society. Yikes. Yikes. Let me try the box again and see if you guys can hear me or not this time. Takesha Bowie. Good afternoon. I'm still used to saying good evening, but we're outside this time. Good afternoon, Takesha. Now, can you hear me?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, the audio's good? Is the audio good?
It's better than what it was before you restarted.
The only thing I can think of is maybe this power cord plugged in the bottom is shorting out. I don't know why it's bad. Like I said,
it's probably because of the wind.
Perhaps. It could be that.
That may be it.
It could be that.
But listen, Tim, I want to get on you about something right quick. Why do y'all insist on talking about black fathers not being in the home when there are so many white men that have walked away from their families as well?
Because
why is it so prevalent that people always want to talk about how a black family and children would be better if the dad was in the home, when the ones that do the killing at these mass shootings have both their mom and dad in the home?
That's a good point.
So what difference does it make if the dad is there, if he gonna give a child a gun at a young age and they gonna go kill up a whole bunch of children that had nothing to do with them?
I think it's because, first of all, that's what's being brought up is, criticizing the black community about their level.
Right, but my thing is, why do y'all just simply accept it and not give feedback on it?
Because
why not just say, hey, that is a problem, but y'all men walk off as well?
Because there's more, the size of the problem is more sizable in the black community. What I'm saying is, you mentioned 2-parent households bringing up a child that goes out to be a mass killer. There's far more murderers coming out of the black community that are a product of single family percentage-wise than there are, literally far more. Far more blacks that grew up like that.
When we commit a murder between our people, it's from somebody we beef with.
That's true.
We don't go take out the whole neighborhood.
That's true. I agree with that.
But they do that on the other side.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've said that.
My thing is, that's just like saying, well, I smoke 1 crack rock a day, so I'm not a crackhead. But the guy who smoked 3, he's a crackhead.
Look, I'm not going to disagree with that. I've said that many times, that there's a different type of shooting. Black people, when they're doing this stuff, they generally are trying to shoot somebody they have a beef with. They may miss and hit innocent people.
Okay, yeah. And I want to say this about this too. I think it's real weird. People cheer that people are losing their health care when their tax dollars are paying for free health care for Congress, who also gets a food allowance off of your tax dollars, and they make millions. Why are you cheering for people that can't afford health care losing it, but you have no problem paying for Congress free health care and food allowance, but you don't want the kids to get free lunch at school?
That's a great question. I don't have any answer for that, because I've had discussions about, like, when Putin came over here and they had the aircraft fly over him on the red carpet, and I asked some of my MAGA viewers, do you think that was worth the money? And it was worth it. We need to show American might. But you don't want to pay for an American citizen to have health care, but you're okay with paying to fly jets over a foreign leader who's really an enemy. He's an enemy. And you think, yeah, I don't understand that. I don't have an answer for that.
You never understood people celebrating what other people have that they ain't benefiting from.
Yeah, and that part I don't have an answer for. Why? I just think it's something about. I think it's this way. I believe that the right is more defensive of folks that the haves, and the left is more defensive of the have-nots.
And let me ask you, did you ever seen Imitation of Life?
I believe so. A long time ago.
The movie where the black woman had the little light-skinned girl and she passed off as being white because she hated being black.
I do believe I've seen that. A long time ago, though.
That's blacker. You ask why they don't see Charlie Kirk as racist and why they don't see Trump as racist. It's because they hate they black. They hate being black.
So you think black MAGA identifies more with white culture than their own?
Because they don't like their skin color. They don't like their race. You got a lot of black people that are racist against their own race, Tim.
Yeah, that's true.
And it really comes from hurt that they have not acknowledged or tried to sit down and talk about. So what they do is they feed off their hurt and they begin to hate their own race, and then they flutter more to the other side.
Well, I guess
that's why they don't see anything wrong with what Kurt says. And of course, white people aren't going to see what's wrong with what Kurt said because they've never had to face racism. So most of them act like they're not racist when they are.
Yeah, but you don't think anybody white has ever had to face racism?
Not like we did. They didn't get beat across the head, and they didn't get dogs turned on them, and they didn't have to say, you can't use this restroom, you can't drink out this water fountain, you got to ride in the back of the bus. There's different sides to racism.
Yeah, but the overwhelming majority of black people walking around today has never faced the racism at the level you just said.
I wasn't talking, you asked me, do I think white people have faced racism?
Yeah,
and I was telling you the kind that they did not face.
Okay. Yeah, that's true, but we are talking about generations past.
Okay, so today's racism is, okay, I want to buy a house. You go up on everything you can, so I can't afford this house. There was a video where this black couple was trying to buy this house, and the realtor went up so high on it they could not. But when they made their friend, they had a white friend. She went to try to get the same house, and the interest rate was so low for that white lady. And they realized that you're making the interest rate so high sometimes for black people so they can't afford to buy, but you're lowering it when it comes to white people.
You know, normally I'm able to push back and see both sides of certain topics and things like that, but that one you just said, I can't push back on it because I'm actually a victim of that. I was part of a class action suit. I had a number of properties.
Exactly, Tim.
Yeah, it happened to me.
It happened to me. With your credit,
yeah,
because those people had the credit.
Yeah, it actually happened to me. I got a letter all of a sudden. I had properties in Chicago. I get a letter out of the blue from a law firm asking me, do you want to be part of a class action suit because they did give you a higher interest rate solely for being black. I'm like, I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it.
See, Tim, if it doesn't happen to you, you don't know it's happening. So you don't believe the people that it's happening to. And that's how a lot of people get away with doing stuff that's discriminatory.
Yeah. But what about the notion that there's a lot of black people that complain about racism that is not, where they just find racism in anything?
People do that. I'm not gonna even lie. You got some people that find racism in water you drink, Tim. Some people might think the sun and water racist. You know, you got those people. You got that in every race. Yeah. But it's not the majority. It's not, Tim.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how crazy this Charlie Kirk thing is. Because you know me, I'm a Christian. Well, let me take that back. I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm a believer. Because everybody claim the word Christian. And Christian is a title, and I do the walking. Okay? So, my thing is this. They calling Charlie Kirk a Christian. Right. I heard this congressman say, I know when Charlie made it to heaven, God asked for his autograph.
Damn.
Damn.
What?
The God who created everything by saying, let there be. The God who created Charlie Kirk asked Charlie Kirk for his autograph. What could Charlie Kirk have done so great that God wants your autograph?
Well, and that's one of the things I need to get my MAGA view. I need to get a MAGA view on here because I do want to know because he is being deified. He is receiving his high.
He's being idolized.
Yeah, they're talking about naming highways and stuff after him. What is he? I'm asking you, what is he known for? What is his major accomplishment that would be worthy of a highway?
A lot of stuff that they wanted to say but could not. That's all it is. Point blank, he made money off of his wife, the CEO of Turning Point. At one time, they interviewed her. Her and him was on a podcast. She said women that have children cannot be a CEO because there is no balance when it comes to your life with the children. But now all of a sudden, you the CEO.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they got some strong views. I got a duck flying around here somewhere. The Kirk family, I guess, you know, him and his wife. I don't know what the children will grow up being like, but the family has some strong views. But I do wonder, like, what did he accomplish? I mean, you're talking about naming highways after this man.
He made some money.
A lot of people made money.
People love people that make money. He made money. He said what he wanted to say that they wanted to say about other races, and it tickled their fancy. So listen, Tim, half for the people that's mourning Charlie Kirk, half for the people that's going to Starbucks ordering a tea with 2 honeys in it, and when the people say, what's your name, they saying Charlie Kirk, and if you don't say Charlie Kirk, they trying to get the people fired. They ain't know Charlie Kirk before the man got shot.
Well, I got some strong pushback for you here. You know, I always give it to you. You know, you always energize my audience. Well, first of all, this one is light. Somebody said Charlie Kirk said Jesus above all else, above politics. So that might be one reason why people like him. But here's the strong comment. Dead Boot says, you dumb bitch. She's the CEO, referring to Charlie Kirk's wife, because the left murdered her husband. Pull your head out of your ass. What say you?
Let me go and get him straight. What the name was, Tim?
I don't scroll away from it now. But I saw it. I read it for you.
You got to be the dumbest bitch. Move, Zoe, because I'm mad. Move back, Zoe. Grandma don't want you to hear me saying these words.
Oh, shit.
You got to be a dumb bitch to sit up and say the left killed this man when it was I wouldn't care if it was a dead dog that killed him. Y'all so fixated on left and right. As a matter of fact, the man that they said killed him didn't kill him. It was his time to go. Regardless to who took him out, he wasn't going to live no longer than the Lord gave him. You're stupid. Get your head out your shitty ass. How about that?
At 31, it was...
Get your head out of your shitty ass.
You saying that...
And maybe when you get that shit out your ears, you can hear something to make you not the dumb bitch you are.
Ooh. At 31, it was his time to go. The Lord called him home, huh?
You don't get but a certain amount of time. It didn't matter how he left here. It was his time was up, and it was time for him to go.
Wow.
If they believe in God like they say they do, they'll read the Bible and know everybody has an appointed time.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing you can do to stop your appointed time.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that is the way I was brought up. That is the way I was brought up as well.
Idiot.
Once he calls you home, ain't nothing you can do about it. So you think that...
Idiot.
So do you feel confident that it was Jesus calling him home?
No, you just his time was up.
You don't think he's...
time? Let me tell you something, Tim. That's why I say I don't use the word Christian. Because at the end of the day, the Ku Klux Klan said they was Christian. They went to church, raised their funky hands, came home, hung a person.
Damn.
What was Christian about that?
And that is absolutely true. That's what they were doing. Kevin says Kevin in the comments says you're a disgrace. Like he said you're a disgrace talking like that, and also talking about God, hypocrites. So
let me tell you something. He had no understand what he said to me. I can defend myself the same way he came at me. It's the same way I went back at him. Fine, you a friend. He's a disgrace. I'm a disgrace. We all a disgrace.
Strong
now,
step.
Tim, let me say this and then I'm gonna let you go, cause these folks pissing me off today. You know I get real
because Stephen is also saying this lady has the devil in her heart. So
I get real active on your show. The reason people think Charlie Kirk was saved is for the simple fact of what God said. My name on their lips, but their heart is far from me. That's why he said, I'll come. I'll tear up the wheat and the tare, because you will be pulling up the wheat thinking you're pulling up the tare, because you don't know what a real Christian is.
All right, I'll leave it at that. And I see in the comments, Real Talk says he bets you are a lesbian. Don't know.
No, I ain't never really wanted to be a lesbian because I don't even eat seafood. So I couldn't go down between, and eat no stuff. I really like men because, that's just what I like. But no, I don't even eat seafood. So no, I couldn't have been a lesbian. Everything I know that we go through down there, I couldn't imagine putting my mouth down now. Ooh. But if you want a lesbian, I got a couple of friends. If that's what you really alluding to. If you want a lesbian, I know plenty of them. Just give me an inbox and I'll send you their number.
Well, how about this? Just because he's a friend, just because he's a viewer on the program, send it to me and I'll see if I can pass it on. For research purposes, of course.
Okay, I'll do that, Tim. Yeah. But no, I don't even eat seafood, Tim. So therefore, I couldn't be a lesbian. But call me anything but that. Call me a whore, I was young, I was real fast. I like to go places where they leave a light on for your Motel 6. Call me a slut or whatever. But never call me a lesbian, because that's not true.
All right.
I like men.
Fair enough. Now you got me wanting to go to Red Lobster. Appreciate it, Takesha. Thanks for coming through. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Hopefully the audio. Oh, no. I just stopped my damn TikTok by accident. I'll have to bring it back up. Oh, shit. I hate when I do that. Let me read the comments on YouTube while I do that. I did not mean to drop that. No, a trans dating, furry dating homosexual killed Kirk. I think that's true. That does seem to be true based on what they're finding out about him. The misfortune is everywhere. People literally, this shooter was MAGA, left my ass off. I'm not confident saying what Tyler Robinson is his name. I'm not certain saying what he is, because in fact, I'll tell you this, there's more in the past of Tyler Robinson to suggest he leans right than left, which is why you keep hearing about him having a transgender roommate. Because if you take that away from if you take the bullet point of transgender roommate away from Tyler Robinson's resume, he looks like a person that's conservative. So, that's why they keep telling you that this person is trans, because you need to throw the trans aspect in there. Otherwise, everything about Tyler is pretty much to the right. I mean, they got, look, there are photos of this dude holding 50 cows and rocket launchers and shit at a young age. You don't see too many photos of people on the left holding 50 cows at a young age, in adolescent years. That exposing your children to all of that firepower, that's something that is a tenet of the right. So, yeah, if you don't put that trans in there, if he was dating a straight girl, there would be nothing about this dude to suggest that he leans left. And by the way, I always bring this up before we go back to the box. I had to reset the live if you guys are watching on TikTok. I ended up hitting cancel as opposed to dropping my last guest, Takesha. But, yeah, if you look at all the aspects of Tyler Robinson, he don't look like somebody who leaned left whatsoever. Now, and by the way, because Trump rushed to judgment and told everybody that this guy was a leftist and things like that, and the Democrats killed Kirk, he was saying, before we even knew who the guy is. I think what's happening is a lot of folks on the right were rushing to find ways to defend and verify Trump's statement. Just like when Trump said they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield, I started getting all kinds of messages from folks trying to prove that dogs and cats were being eaten out there, even though it doesn't look like that was true. So if Trump says something wild, there's going to be a lot of people that try to rush and defend it. Like if he says that, grab him by the what, people are going to start, no, that's just locker room talk. Because he wasn't the one that said locker room talk. His defenders started putting in stuff to make it make sense. And he shouldn't have said the Democrats took Kirk's life until they had an actual shooter in custody. He should not have said that, period. But that's what they've rushed to do. Look, he had a transgender girlfriend. His mom or his high school friends have said he leans left. Okay, how? What have he said? What did he talk about? Was he hanging around the Democratic National Convention? Did he vote for Kamala Harris? How? How did he lean left? Because you got a whole lot of people that have said things about people that we dismiss. Pete Hegseth's mom said all kinds of trashy shit about him. The right didn't take that seriously. That's his mom saying that. President Trump got relatives that have written books saying negative things about him. You didn't take their words seriously. JFK's whole family, or RFK Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, whatever his name is, his whole family don't like him. You didn't take that seriously. So why is all of a sudden what the associates and family members of Tyler Robinson saying suddenly meaningful? You're dismissing all them other folks. So as I stated, what did he do to actually suggest he's leftist? Not what somebody's telling you, because you don't take when people are telling you stuff about people you favor. So why are we just going by that? I don't see anything there other than him having a trans roommate. And I will say this before I go to my next caller. The right makes it clear they are not homophobes. They don't have any problem with the transgender community. They just don't want you shoving this shit down school kids' throats. The right has no problem with the transgender community. That's what they always tell you. So if that is true, why do we automatically assume that somebody's affiliating with the trans, they're leftists? If the right don't hate them, then they might be Republican. Unless the notion that the right don't have a problem with the transgender community is actually a lie. It would have to be one or the other. Why do we automatically assume that anybody hanging around the transgender community or that happens to be trans leans left, when the right is constantly saying they don't have a problem with the trans and they love everybody? That needs to be explained. Anyway, looking in the comments, he said, "I'm sorry." He said, "I'm sorry, my love. I couldn't take his hateful words anymore." That means he was on the left. I don't totally agree with that, Stephen, because I don't believe everybody who sees Charlie Kirk as sowing division, being intolerant, or even being racist. I don't think everybody that disagrees with Charlie Kirk is a right-winger, a person that leans right. I believe there are conservatives out there that would disagree with a number of Charlie Kirk's statements. Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Martin Luther King was an awful guy. BLM means burn, loot, and murder. There's a lot of things. Listen, I don't believe everything Charlie Kirk said was wrong. I agree with some of his statements, but some of them are really over the top. My guess is there's probably Republicans out there that disagree with Charlie Kirk on some stuff, because Charlie Kirk's statements were not Republican. They were far right. Moderate Republican. I bet you Mitt Romney don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said. Mitt Romney's a devout Mormon in Utah. He's from that area. I bet you Mitt Romney would tell you there's a whole lot of statements from Charlie Kirk he disagrees with. He's not a liberal. He's not to the left. So I don't believe everybody on the right agrees with Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with Kirk on abortions. I'm conservative. There's another one. That's another good point, is that Charlie Kirk believes that even if your father impregnates you, you should have the baby. All conservatives don't believe that. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff that Charlie Kirk has said that folks on the right don't believe or agree with either. So I don't buy that anybody that disagrees with Kirk is a leftist. I really don't care what Charlie Kirk said or did, but Democrats murdered him, making him a better martyr than Martin Luther King. I'm going to go to the box, but I'll tackle a statement. You know, we don't block, ban, or censor. We are an open forum. By the way, if you guys enjoy this type of forum where we let everybody speak, we let everybody. I don't know what's happening right now, but X, the social media site, just had a thing drop down on my screen, said Maxine Waters, something with Maxine Waters. Make sure she's still alive, somebody in the comments, let me know what's going on with Maxine Waters out there. You know, she's been inflammatory at times too. Let me make sure Maxine Waters is all right. Somebody in the comments check on that. But real quick in the comments, and I see Will Sims says, Tim throws shit on the wall and then tries to convince you it's paint. I like that. That ain't what I do, but I like that statement. In regards to your statement, John Landrigan, you said, I really don't care what Charlie Kirk said or did, but the Democrats murdered him, making him a better martyr than Martin Luther King. Well, first of all, the notion that you don't really care what he said or did is concerning, because when the left was trying to make George Floyd some sort of hero and they wanted to honor him, the first thing the right was complaining about is what he did. He has a criminal history. He was a bad guy. But now all of a sudden it comes to Charlie Kirk, well, I really don't care what he did. So I just want to point out the hypocrisy there. But you're saying by the left murdering him, they've made him a better martyr than Martin Luther King. I'll just end that discussion by saying this. What I want to happen as we honor Charlie Kirk going forward is, I don't want no whitewashing of his quotes. If he really was a great guy, if he really was worth honoring, don't fuck around and try to hide things that he said. That should be part of his legacy. Make sure that you don't try to whitewash his statements. Do that man his due diligence. Show that man respect. Make sure all of his comments become part of his history and part of his legacy. I'm just simply saying that. Don't try to change his statements. A lot of that shit's on video. I see in the comments, Mike Brown says they're already doing that. Yeah, don't try to hide that shit. You want to name a fucking highway and stuff after him, go ahead and do it. But don't try to hide the stuff he said. Let me go back to the box. Watch his videos in his entirety instead of taking quotes out of context. That's a very common statement, TB. Watch Charlie Kirk's videos in their entirety and don't take them out of context. As you guys know, when I started the live, I stated I spent the last damn near a week now, probably about 4 or 5 days straight, watching video after video of Charlie Kirk, debates he had in the UK, debates he's had on college campuses, debates he's had with African Americans. I've watched a lot of Charlie Kirk lately, probably about 20 hours or more of Charlie Kirk. And my analysis is exactly what I said earlier, is if you like Charlie Kirk, watching him in full context is just going to make you like him more. If you don't like Charlie Kirk from the sound bites, watching him in full context is going to make you hate him more. Watching Charlie Kirk in full context is not going to change anybody's mind. It's just not. And like I said, you're hearing it from, and I see somebody else said the same thing. What is it? Says Umbrella or something, hello, something. I can't see the name there, but it says I've watched them in their entirety. He's racist. Thanks. Yeah, if you watch Charlie Kirk in full length, it ain't gonna change your mind. It's just not. If you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. And that's just the way it's gonna be. Like I said, if he says, Black Lives Matter means burn, loot, and murder, do you really need to hear him explain that for the next 10 or 15 minutes? You either believe that or you don't. Watching him in context is not going to change that. And he said a number of statements that are like that. He said Juneteenth should not be a federal holiday. You either agree with that or you don't. Watching him in longer, there's nothing he's going to say to, if somebody believes Juneteenth should be a federal holiday, they're not going to watch 15, 20 minutes of Charlie Kirk and walk away. You know, he's kind of right. Maybe it shouldn't be a holiday. They're not going to do that. You either agree with it or you don't. And that's how I believe most of his statements are. I did a video, by the way, for anybody who, want to show your boy a little bit of love and support on my YouTube channel, The Handsome Liberal. My last video was titled Charlie Kirk in Full Context. I actually discuss, or better yet, I played a full context video if I'm having this debate about a black pilot with one of the kids on campus. I play it in full context. And then we analyze what he said and go from there. But it's in full context, as people say. I got that. That's one of my videos. That's the last video I posted on my YouTube page. You can watch it if you will. Starch Manning says, Charlie got mad about getting an extra holiday on Juneteenth. He went to work and filmed it. The context doesn't make it better. Wow. He got mad. And that's something I don't understand. Why the hell would a non-black person, okay, you're not black, but you get the day off too. Why the hell would you be angry about that? What if we got rid of Juneteenth as a holiday and made everybody got to go back to work again? How does that benefit anybody? Listen, I work for a living just like everybody else do. I want as many fucking days as I can get off, especially if they paid. And I'm independently employed, so I don't get any of those holidays off. But why the hell would I want to turn down a holiday? That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. Because they are racist, Christian nationalists that want to make money. Says, oh, okay. Black Lives Matter was a terrible organization that had a manifesto that had deconstruct the nuclear family. That's true. Stephen, I'll just tell you, look, as somebody who's been to Trump rallies and Black Lives Matter rallies, the stuff you're saying does not come up at any Black Lives Matter rally. You're saying they had a manifesto that had deconstruct the nuclear family. I've been to a couple Black Lives Matter rallies. Nobody collected any money. So when you talk about money being used for corrupt purposes, it was hundreds of people there. Nobody collected any money. Nobody talked about fascism. I know that came up. You're talking about deconstruct the nuclear family. None of that shit comes up at a Black Lives Matter gathering. It's about exactly what you think it's about. Racism and bad cops. They're not talking about that stuff. I mean, you found somebody who claims to be BLM that's a feminist, or they don't like the nuclear family. Maybe you found 3 or 4 people that believes that or whatever. That ain't what BLM rallies are about. They're not sitting down there talking about that shit. That has nothing to do with their primary existence. Nothing to do with that. King Finn, good evening. Welcome to the program. Or good afternoon.
What's going on, man? I see you at the park shaving Cheeto dust off your chest.
Why I gotta have Cheeto dust?
You know why, man? Because you tap dancing, you let these motherfuckers tap dance on this live, man. That old bullshit. Sherwood was right. Sherwood was right. Handsome conservative, you an idiot. Half of y'all talking about that bullshit is idiots. Y'all can believe what y'all want to, but the truth is the truth. The reason MAGA loves Charlie Kirk is because he's just like your shit tater. He says what you want to say. what you don't have the balls to say yourself because you a bunch of weak ass fucking snowflakes.
So let me ask it to you this way. In regards to his statement, BLM equals burn, loot, and murder, Black C in the comments says, what I've seen proof of is Black Lives Matter protesters burning down buildings. So what about his comment, BLM equals burn, loot, and murder?
That's a lie. That's a complete and utter falsity. You fucking know it. You've said it plenty of times. There were Black Lives Matter protests in more than, I don't know, 65% of the country. Yeah. None of those places reported being burned down. Yeah. None of those places reported being being looted. None of those places reported any political violence. So you can keep that shit to yourself with your dumb ass. The only place that violence happened was actually only a couple of different places. One of them here in Minnesota, where they fucking unalived George Floyd for fucking 9 minutes and 30 seconds. And before anybody in the comments gets nuts to say that dumbass shit about him dying off of fentanyl, go fuck yourself. Because you can fucking miss me. Okay? Eat a fat baby's dick and take a pickle and a motherfucking barrel of ice cream for dessert, bitch. Because that ain't what the fuck happened.
Eat a fat baby's dick. What the hell is that all about? I've never heard that before.
I get tired of hearing that shit. Oh, he died from fentanyl. You can't prove that, number one. Number two, he was clean. Number three, none of you motherfuckers who saying that shit knew him. So please stop with the falsities. Please stop with the narrative that he was a criminal. He was not. He served his fucking time. Game over. Okay? He stopped. He went down. He was in Texas before he came to Minnesota, and he stopped the fucking gang war from happening. Does that still make him a criminal? He stopped motherfuckers from getting killed. Does that make him a criminal? No, it doesn't. It makes him a black man who's trying to do something fucking different and take care of his daughter. So before you rush to do exactly what you ignorant conservative motherfuckers do, which is judge people, maybe you should judge your own fucking self. How about we start there? How about we start with you sweeping around your own fucking front porch before you try to sweep down somebody else's steps, you snowflake ass pussies.
Damn, that's strong. Okay, here, I don't even have a follow-up for that. But in regards to the death of Charlie Kirk, Mary Berry in my comments says, if you think Charlie Kirk is the sacrificial lamb, you have to ask why Trump had him sacrificed. You don't think Trump had anything to do with the loss of Charlie Kirk, do you?
If he did, it's only for the simple fucking fact that he trying to get everybody to stop talking about them E-files. Yeah. Period, point blank.
I don't think the Epstein files matter. I don't think they matter anymore.
All of this shit, it does fucking matter. It does matter. Because still over 77% of the 77 million people in this country can't come with the realization that their dictator in charge was groping little kids. It does fucking matter. He's in the fucking files. He sent the motherfucking letter. He did the shit. And he's a 34-count felon sitting in the fucking White House. If you were a felon, it used to be you couldn't fucking cut the grass, and you better not be black trying to cut the grass as a felon at the White House because it wasn't fucking happening. But here we are today in America with no free speech and a shit-tater, a 34-count felon in fucking office, and y'all cool with all of that shit, including him groping little fucking kids. The sick-ass shit he said to Billy Bush, the disgusting shit he said to his daughter. You ought to be a fucking ashamed of yourself. Oh, and just to top it all off, places like the Netherlands, and Germany. Germany is fucking calling shots, fucking clowning Disney, and bringing out motherfucking warfare commercials with brand new Disney characters talking the same quote-unquote locker room talk that your pedo in charge is fucking saying.
I have not seen that. I'm interested in seeing that. Wow.
Look for it. I would bring it up, but I don't think you want your lie to be taken down again. Okay.
If you can send me a link or something like that, I would like to see that. I have not seen that. Wow.
I sent the motherfucking the video, the TikTok video to you. I shared all of that shit.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely after this live. I'm really eager to see that. I'm gonna go look straight up for that. Wow.
Yeah. Disney characters saying stuff like, "If you weren't my daughter, I'd date you." Cinderella. What was her dad? It was an animation of her and her dad talking. And he said, "If you are Belle, I'm sorry, Snow White, saying, oh, if you weren't my daughter, I'd date you." The same language that y'all shit-tater in charge is using. But that's okay, because Germany can clown us.
I gotta ask you. Have you ever heard of I'm going to ask you this, and this is not going to go where you probably think it is, but it's based on somebody in the comments. Have you ever heard of the acronyms TDS?
Trump derangement system? Okay.
Yeah, but in the comments, Mary Berry has TDS, but he says it means Trump dick suckers.
Yeah, okay. Well, if that's what you believe, only dick suckers, you motherfuckers who bowing down to this fucking communist motherfucking traitor. The rest of the fucking conservative party that are dead, like John McCain, and the rest of them will fucking roll over their grave with this motherfucker clapping like his good little bitch as Putin gets off the plane, walks on the red carpet, and gets a fucking flyover. Are you kidding me right now? We don't have money to feed the homeless and give kids school lunch programs, but we got $71 million for him to golf and millions of dollars to do a flyover for a fucking war criminal. Are you serious? Fuck you.
I don't.
Fat babies.
You and that fat baby's dick. I don't have an answer for that. How about this one though? How do we explain the difference in the response to the death of George Floyd and the death of Charlie Kirk? Because somebody is asking it. Why are they being? Mark is asking that. Why are they being treated so differently? The death of George Floyd.
Okay, I can definitely answer that. The death of George Floyd is different, and the BLM rights are different because black people are tired of being treated like shit. We are tired of seeing our brothers and sisters unalive on tape, and you motherfuckers still don't get it. You still don't understand why the Black Lives Matter. Because of the system of oppression and racism that has been around in this country for more than 400 fucking years that has made you even believe. It has normalized it that Black lives don't matter. That's why Black Lives Matter is real. That's why the movement is different. Charlie Kirk being shot is the first, Charlie Kirk being popped or whatever you want to call it is different because it's the first time y'all have seen one of y'all political people get popped off. We've seen it already. If you want to call it a leftist or right thing, we've seen it. Malcolm X, JFK, RFK, Senior, Martin Luther King. We've seen all of that. We've seen the ugly side of politics when it comes to assassinations and things like that. This is the first time one of y'all deities have been popped, and y'all, oh my God, Charlie Kirk, oh my God, it's so horrible, ain't it? Ain't that a bitch?
Well, I'll push back a little bit and say Ronald Reagan got hit. He didn't lose his life, but he did get popped.
Okay.
So they have seen at least one. But you are right. Most of the folks that have been assassinated that are well known, I guess they are kind of more to the left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. It's the first time that one of y'all quote unquote leaders, because personally, you just asking my opinion, Charlie Kirk was a fucking internet troll. And you walking around talking about I'm Charlie Kirk is a fucking, that's insane to me. Because he made his claim to fame by battling kids in fucking debates where he railroaded them with their ideas. No, I don't need to listen to no more Charlie Kirk to know he was a racist piece of shit. That's too bad for him. Am I upset he died? No. Did he deserve to die? Probably not. But God has a funny way of doing things, don't he?
Yeah, he lost his life right after talking about guns, and he's the guy that said we should be willing to accept some gun deaths to maintain the Second Amendment right. And then the minute he's talking about guns, he dies by way of the gun. So, I mean, it could have been a message in that. I don't know.
Isn't it ironic, don't you think?
All right, King. A little bit of, what is her name? Alanis Morissette? Yeah, a little bit of Alanis Morissette to run us out of here. Appreciate it, King. Thank you. All right. Moving on with the program. One is a cop's killing, talking about George Floyd. Someone we see it every day. That is unfortunately true username that we do see cops taking people's lives all the time. That's a problem in itself. But he says one is a cop's killing, something we see every day. The other is seen as an anti-Christian. Could be dangerous. What are you saying? You're saying that Charlie Kirk was anti-Christian? Or the taking of the life of Charlie Kirk was anti-Christian? I need you to explain that. I don't get which one of those you're saying. Dictator who served for 4 years, left for 4, then came back. That sounds like a dictator. Stephen, there's a pushback on that. You're saying there's no way that, and thank you for sharing the live there, J. Trendify. Share the live, folks. Appreciate that. What you're saying, if I'm interpreting this right, is that there's no way Trump could be a dictator because he served for 4 years and he left. And then you saying he came back. Does that sound like a dictator? Well, the obvious pushback is Trump didn't leave. He didn't leave. He was forced out. He was trying to have his vice president not certify the election. He didn't leave. He didn't willfully leave. I mean, he had his own vice president refuse to do his bidding. Mike Pence. If Mike Pence had did what Trump wanted him to do, he may have not left at all. And clearly, we're what, 5+ years out, because Trump lost in November of 2024. So we're coming up on November 2025. It'll be 5 years ago. There's still not been enough evidence to suggest that Mike Pence should have refused to certify that election. We're 5 years out, and there's not enough evidence of that. So, yeah, he wasn't trying to leave. So when you say, well, he left and came back again, no, he wasn't going to leave. Some random guy proofread before posting, please. Okay. Michael Wolf says Epstein showed him the photos of Trump with naked minor girls. Wow. Yeah, but Stephen, he didn't leave. Look, if you left, you wouldn't have had, telling your vice president not to certify the election is showing that you don't intend to leave. So I don't buy it. He didn't show up at the inauguration of Joe Biden. He didn't follow any of the traditions of a president that is quote unquote leaving. Handsome conservative. Shout out to you. Appreciate the TikTok cap. Democrats are murderous pedophiles. Yikes. You got any evidence of that, John Landrigan? You'd have to show some evidence of what you're saying there. I'd love to see it. Chris, good evening or good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Trump is just a thin-skinned little boy. Hang on a second, Chris. Trump is just a thin-skinned little boy, and he can't take a joke at all. He obviously hates any criticism, says Edgar Real. That almost sounds like what they say about the left. You can't take a joke. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Tim. What are we talking about today?
We're having an open forum. I'm kind of just letting the folks speak. I'm out here bike riding. I just figured I'd log in. So it's an open forum. Political questions, anything you want.
How's the weather where you at? It looks like it's cloudy.
It is. It's an overcast, which is nice. I'm not getting burned by the sun. It's probably low 70s. Good day for bike riding.
Yeah, low 70s, perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah,
enjoy, man. Hey, enjoy the outdoors. You know, summer is coming to an end.
That is true.
Enjoy, bro.
That is true.
Yep. So, Tim, my issue with the black pilot, this is my problem. And this is my biggest problem with CK, is the black pilot. And we know Muskegon Airmen in 1940, they were excellent pilots. Of course, that's military now. Right. He's talking commercial. I get it. Yeah. But he's born in what, 93?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me from 1940 to 1993, he don't think black pilots have, you understand? They're not skilled? That's how many years?
Well, listen.
That's 50 years.
Yeah, listen. I did a probably, I think it's like a 15-minute video on my YouTube channel about this, and I listened to the full context of Charlie debating the person that asked him about this statement. He believes that in order to hire more black pilots, because United stated that they wanted 50% of their pilots to be African American by 2030. So he believes that they relaxed the standards to make that possible. So he believes that they started taking on pilots that were not as trained so that they could make their workforce 50% black, women, people of color. That's what he's using to justify that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When United made that statement and he responded after they made that statement, is that correct?
And when I played his clip, because the guy who was questioning him, it was at a college or whatever, the guy asked him, he said, can we all just agree that anybody that becomes a pilot, regardless of their color, is FAA certified? And Charlie Kirk said no. He said, when I make that statement, there were lawsuits coming in at the time that were saying that they had relaxed the standards. And when I did my video, that's the first thing I said in my own video, is that Charlie Kirk was a good debater. He was good at debating. I would have been much better off if he had said there were courts ruling that the airlines were relaxing their standards. Charlie Kirk is smart enough to know that anybody can file a lawsuit. Many people that support Charlie Kirk would never entertain any lawsuit about Trump on anything. So if there were lawsuits coming in that they were relaxing the standards, that's all it is. Okay, well, how was those lawsuits adjudicated? What came out of them? And he doesn't cover any of that. He just says there were lawsuits. So in other words, people were just making allegations that they were relaxing the standards. But I don't see anywhere where any of those lawsuits were ruled on by a court to be valid.
Yeah, I disagree with that too. I don't think the airline industry is going to relax.
I agree. Yeah, Rodney says, yes, he writing in the comments. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a ton of pilots that's qualified, tons of them on a waiting list. It's lots of them. They're well qualified. They're all well qualified. Now, how they pick them, that might be a different story. However, they're all in waiting. They're all well qualified. So you can't say they relax the standard. I totally disagree with that. They have to go through rigorous training. They need hours. Before you come commercial, you need a lot of hours.
Yeah. And also, I will say this also, too, because in my video, I show the articles and things like that. When they announced that they wanted 50% of their staff to be black, so they had a shortage of white pilots. This was announced in 2021. And they wanted to do it by 2030. So we're talking about a 9-year span before they wanted to have this done. So what I said in my videos, I'm like, you could take somebody who has no flying experience at all and train them to be a commercial airline pilot in 9 years. So I don't know what Charlie Kirk is talking about in 2025. They're not at that level. So I don't see any evidence whatsoever. Not to mention, look, every mishap in the commercial airline industry is documented. The NTSB goes through it. You can Google and find out every plane crash we've had, probably going back to the 1940s for commercial airlines. Look who the pilots are. They're all white dudes. All of them. Like fucking all of them. Very few pilots are even white women. So why the hell would you look at a black dude and that's what you're suspicious? All the crashes feature white dudes at the cockpit. It didn't make any sense to me.
It didn't make sense. And like you say, they might have wanted that 50%. Is not necessarily they was going to get it. That's just their goal. Yeah. That was their goal. You understand what I'm saying? They might have got 20% or 30%. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're saying their goal was.
Right.
Don't necessarily. It may not be 20-40. They still may not have 50%. It's just something they want to do to show diversity. I get that, but for him to say a black pilot, and I'm like, what did he say positive about blacks? Do you got any clips? Show me some clips.
I listened to Charlie Kirk. I listened to Charlie Kirk this whole week. While I'm driving, I got my phone hanging down from the mirror. I'm playing YouTube videos, Bluetooth through the car speaker, listening to his debates. I can't find anything of this dude saying positive stuff.
Come on, if you listen to, you said 20 hours.
I listened to about 20 hours every day while I was working. I was, I keep an earphone in my ear. I mean, I'm listening to him while I'm walking around. I can't find anything where this guy said positive about black people. It's like all negative.
Lawyer, black judge, give me something positive. You gotta have something.
I was looking. I got these earphones I carry around. They're in my ear all day long. I'm listening to the news and stuff. But this week it was all YouTube videos of Charlie Kirk, everywhere from him in the UK to various colleges and universities. None of it is positive. None of it. It's all negative.
Wow.
All of it. So
I understand, conflict, and I understand, you bringing out the truth. You see something negative about something, but where's the positive? Criticizing is good. I don't mind criticizing, but it's got to be something positive. Bring something positive. That way it'll kind of quell everything. You understand what I'm saying? Not
only is it all negative, the problem, what to me is most concerning is what is the purpose of doing that? You don't have a lot of black friends, black associates. You're not affiliated with the black community. What is the goal to just point? Even if everything Charlie Kirk was saying was true, let's say it's all true. What is the purpose of pointing out all the flaws of the black community when you don't hang around them? I don't understand that. What are you trying to accomplish?
I don't get it. The thing is, blacks have came so far since the 40s, the 30s. They came far since slavery ended, to be honest. Slowly but surely, but just pushing up. Yes, there's been some problems, but you have to look at the positive things. You got nothing, a judge, you got nothing positive. Yeah. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I said, I looked for it, and I see somebody said, did Charlie Kirk ever say anything negative about the white community? Yeah, all the liberal shit. All the anti-Christian stuff. I mean, all the anti-Trump. I mean, a lot of that. Yeah, he said plenty of things negative about the white community. The liberal side of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that next. Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know why he, just like Candace, because he did hang around Candace Owens and Officer Tatum, who are black as well, but they too have a platform where anytime they're talking about the black community, it's something negative. You're not going to see Candace Owens at a college talking about how everybody graduated with a 4.0. I mean, she's going to be talking about a college where nobody graduated and they all dropped out in the first semester. Like, everything she covers on the black community is negative. So her and Charlie Kirk together are kind of like Batman and Robin on that. I don't, like I said, I haven't found anything positive that he's talked about. And there are positive things. There's more blacks graduating from.
Oh yes,
yeah. There's tons of blacks. There's tons of positives.
Thousands of examples, thousands. But something like that with the clips, like you say, the clips, they do the clips and they say, oh, you just listen to a clip. But I heard enough clips and they were negative. So I'm like, I think I blocked the guy. I don't remember. A few months ago, I'm like, this is just all negative. You know, come with some positive stuff. You know, and that's how the algorithm, you know.
I'll just simply say I'm not a know-it-all. I don't always know every damn thing. I listen to about 20 hours of them, but obviously there's plenty more of them out there. Maybe some way, somehow, positive shit that Charlie Kirk was saying about the black community might come out. I'm just going to say I haven't discovered any of it. And I went up, I went looking for all of those little sound bites. Martin Luther King was awful and all this stuff, and then I go find a video and hear him say this stuff in full detail, and in the video it's negative stuff. It's not.
How about Obama? How did he speak on Obama? Did you?
I didn't, because I'm looking for the sound bites. I haven't heard of any sound bites of him criticizing Obama. I'm sure he did, but I didn't hear him say anything about Obama.
Right, but I did hear some things about black women, which
yeah. He had criticism of Michelle Obama, said that, she didn't have the intelligence unless she took the job of a white woman.
With no evidence.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
The woman is super duper smart. I just don't get that. I don't get it. And it seems like it's controversy. People like controversy for attention. And I think the guy was just a content creator or a podcaster for money.
Maybe it's us, though, Chris, because in the comments, Justin Poole says, y'all libtards are racist as fuck. Maybe it's us.
No, nobody's saying nothing racist, though. I'm just asking for information. I'm not saying nothing negative about him. I'm just saying the clips I seen. I'm not saying nothing negative about this guy.
How about it from this standpoint? Jim Beam, I guess that's the beverage, says you think it's negative because you think backwards. You think good is bad. You think bad is good. You think sweet is sour. Sour is sweet. What's wrong with you? Can you even interpret what that means?
I can't.
I gave you a chance, Jim. It sounded like you ingested some Jim Beam. I don't know what that means.
I don't understand what that.
I gave you a chance. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm not going to talk negative about Charlie. I'm not going to do that. But I'm just telling you the clips I seen and my perception of it. It just wasn't good, and I didn't want to hear any more after that. Yeah. If you hear 5 or 6 clips, he's like, okay, this is all negative. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to hear anymore. So you block them or you just keep scrolling,
Well, like I said, hearing them in full detail is not going to... You either like Charlie Kirk or you don't. If you listen to Charlie Kirk sound bites and you still like him, you're going to like him if you listen to him in full context. If the sound bites make you think he's intolerant or racist, listening to him in full context ain't going to change your mind either. You're either going to like this guy or you're not. It's as simple as that. Listening to him in full context is not going to change anybody's mind. Chris, I do got to move it on, though.
Okay, Tim, but let me ask you,
sure.
You're the second person that told me if you listen to him in full context, you're going to dislike him even more. So why would I put myself through that suffering? I'm not going to do it. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
I don't want to hear no more.
That's a good point. All right, Chris.
Thank you.
Anytime. My door's always open to you. Fight for Charlie Kirk. MAGA midterms. Well, the midterms are coming up. I don't know if you're really fighting for Charlie Kirk anymore, though. I mean, he doesn't really need your help. But midterms are coming up. Why is it when you quote Charlie Kirk's words, somebody else says they don't want to say any words to the mean... Say words to the mean Charlie. I don't get what you're saying. Those are Charlie's words. Well, that's the problem, is that he does have some inflammatory shit out there, which is why I said, if we're going to honor Charlie Kirk's, honor his legacy and things like that, those words are part of that. So if they name a highway after him or something like that, or he's mentioned in schools, I'll put it this way. To me, his legacy is going to be similar to the Confederate flag. Some say it's about pride and heritage. Some say it's about hating racism. That's going to be Charlie Kirk's legacy. He will forever be viewed as somebody who stood for what's right. Two-parent household, stood for Christianity and the nuclear family to some, and other folks are going to believe he was racist and intolerant. That's going to be his legacy permanently. And as time goes on, it's probably going to, you can disagree with me here. You can disagree with me anytime you want. But it's going to lean more towards the racist side, because a lot of folks that really support Charlie Kirk now, as we all begin to die off, the only thing left of Charlie Kirk is going to be his videos and speeches. And there's going to be more and more of subsequent generations that are going to probably be like, damn, he really said that. Just like the Confederate flag. There's a whole lot of people that believe the Confederate flag is about pride and heritage, but there's probably more that believe otherwise. Why does the left always deny everything wrong they do? I don't think there's anybody that denies everything wrong they do. They got rid of Joe Biden. So, I mean, they were calling, what were they saying, Genocide Joe gotta go? I mean, no, they point out some stuff. Yeah, they're gonna deny some of it, but I don't think that they deny everything. Yeah, but he wasn't racist or anything evil. I can't believe how some people are. That's why I'm a hermit. Let me just say this. There are some folks that can see racism in anything. Got ducks. These racist ducks flying around me. These fuckers are racist, intolerant ducks. Maybe I should throw them some white bread. What say you? Anyway, no, what I was going to say is, there are some folks that can see racism in anything. Sky is white. Why ain't it black sometimes? But then there are some folks who can see racism in nothing. They'll see somebody hanging from a tree. He probably committed suicide. I mean, there are some people who can see racism in anything, and there's some people who can see racism in nothing. Oddly enough, many of the same folks that would adamantly state there was not a drop of racism in Charlie Kirk heard, vote for me or you ain't black, and that was all they needed to say Biden was racist. That one comment was good enough. But they could hear a host of comments from Charlie Kirk, and I don't see any problem with that at all. So I do say some people can see racism in anything. Some people are not going to see racism in anything. It just, no matter what is in front of them, it ain't racist. It ain't racist. So it depends on who you're talking to. Dude wasn't racist. He voted for segregation. Something like that. What's up, my friend? How can we embrace Charlie Kirk? There is nothing that he has said to unite the whole country. All he has done is embolden hate groups and racist white Americans. That's an interesting point. Because you do have a lot of hate groups that are speaking out and they're pissed off at what happened to Charlie Kirk. There are some hate groups that do feel pain in Charlie Kirk's loss. So we'll leave it like that. Nausea, truth is the true enemy. I don't know what that means. Truth is treason in an empire of lies. Going back to the box, we'll keep it moving with Lewis. Good evening. What the hell I just do there? Good evening with Lewis. I think I'm hitting there. They should be pissed off at what happened to Charlie Kirk. They should not be blaming it on the Democrats.
I'm on the phone. Hello?
Hey,
yo.
MAGA Reacts, what's up?
What's going on? Kirk, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You guys are like picking on something that was like 1% of what he said. It's not like he was constantly preaching this stuff. But
did he say anything positive though? Did he say anything positive at all about blacks?
Yeah, he says back in the 40s, 50s, you guys were very family oriented and you did a great job back then.
He had to go all the way in the 40s and 50s to find something good to say? 70, 80 years ago?
Dankel and them are always going back then to get all their racist examples.
Did he say anything positive about the current crop of African Americans in this country right now? Not the ones that are all dead.
He says that they don't need the DEI. Most of them could just, they're just as good. They don't need DEI to give them a legs up.
You got a clip to show that?
I have to look into it because I don't watch him like that either. I watch him about the same as you did.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than you.
Yeah, I haven't.
But
Like I said, if
the
I
other
saw
thing,
him, in order to push back on some of my liberals, if he said some positive shit, I would throw it out there. I can't find anything.
I'll find it. I'm sure he talked about like black unemployment under Trump and stuff like that. I mean, what are you looking for exactly?
I mean, you talk about black culture is broken down. You talk about how awful black rap music is. You can't talk about how many more African Americans since the civil rights have graduated from high school, obtained college degrees, managerial positions, the amount of wealth that's now in the black community, far more black millionaires. None of that can come up at all.
I guess he could have, but his goal was to take back black voters from Democrats.
He ain't gonna do it like that. Saying Martin Luther King was an awful guy is not gonna make me want to vote Republican.
I gotta see the context behind that one. But,
what context are you gonna come up with there? Martin Luther King was awful. What context are you expecting?
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. If I talk to some of my beloved MAGA viewers, and I got plenty MAGA watching me now, if I said Trump was awful, they don't need context, MAGA. They don't. That's bad enough. They don't need to find out what context I mean that in. If I say Trump is an awful person, they don't give a shit why I'm saying it. It's bad to say that.
Well, with Trump, we know a lot about Trump.
We don't know a lot about Martin Luther King?
Not like Trump. We see Trump on TV every day. What we know about Martin Luther King is from books and,
we don't know.
All clips on TV. Like, it's not like we heard hours of him preaching. It's not like we went to his church. I
cannot imagine anything that they could say about Martin Luther King that would make him awful. Because even with Martin Luther King sleeping with prostitutes and being a womanizer, I mean, Trump had plenty of women, and you don't want to hear he's awful. So I'm trying to figure out, why would the man say, I don't know what, you're right about the context, but in some cases, like if I said Charlie Kirk was awful, I don't think MAGA's going to care about the context of that. That statement alone is enough. But for some reason, when he says stuff about other people, well, I need to hear it in all contexts.
Look, if all you guys said was that Kirk is awful and Trump's awful, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, we would.
You can take it as far as he's fascist, he's a racist, he's a monster. Miss Mo Better called him a devil because he smiles and the devil smiles. I don't know what the...
I don't know
awful or that you disagree with him. You guys took it as far as calling him a Nazi, and that's how this happened, and you're still doing it. Like,
you do realize they called Obama a Nazi too, right? I mean, that goes to every president. They called Obama a Nazi. They said he was going to be a fascist. They did. There are photos of him doing it. There are actual photos of him with a short mustache and shit. Yeah, they were doing it.
I mean, I'm sure you could find an example of everything. I'm sure there's an example of Obama being a furry, like,
but so what's the point?
Most people didn't. We didn't go around. We called him maybe a socialist, but guess what? We went to war against Nazis. We didn't go to war against socialists,
Yeah, we did. The folks in North Vietnam, communist, socialists, we went to war against them. And by the way, they were calling Obama a communist as well.
Yeah, but it's not as negative.
I hear your point, but let me just say it like this. I say this all the time. If you don't want to get dirty, don't get in the mud. I only called you a socialist. You called me a racist. What you did is worse. If you don't want to get insulted, don't insult. You don't get to pick and choose.
The problem is we're throwing mud and you guys are throwing rocks.
Don't throw mud. If you don't want to get hit with a rock, don't throw mud.
We're having a mud fight and he's throwing a rock.
You don't get to pick. This is the same shit. This is the same argument you and I had the other day about folks made fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband getting beaten in the head with a hammer, and the response is, well, you can't make fun of Charlie Kirk because he actually died. If you don't want this stuff to happen, don't do it. You don't get to pick and choose how people respond to your insults. Well, because your guy lived, it's okay to insult him, but our guy died, so you can't. Just don't do it. It's as simple as that. Just don't get in the mud and do this shit.
Still, like, that wasn't really my point. My point is we didn't know how bad the Pelosi situation was. We didn't know how hurt he was. It was like a month after he got that DUI, and he was hurt during the DUI too. I think he got in a car accident or something.
I'm just gonna say the best way to not get insulted is not get in the mud and do that kind of stuff. Let's say, for instance, something happened to Trump and he was involved in an accident or some Giuliani style, or some kind of issue where he started having Parkinson's or something like that, and the liberals started making fun of him having Parkinson's. Well, sleepy Joe Biden's going to come up. You've been making fun of this guy falling down. I mean, the problem is you set yourself up. It's not. You shouldn't do this shit. You don't get to. You just shouldn't be insulting people like that, because eventually it's going to come back on you.
I know, but there's also levels to it.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion about the levels. Real quick, MAGA reacts, why are you such a Trump suck pretzel apologist, says Sean Herbert. What say you?
I'm not trying to apologize for shit. I'm just explaining things. I'm never on here trying to apologize. I'm just trying to explain to you the other side and how we think, so you guys don't see everything we do as being Nazis and fascists, when we have actual good goals, and I'm trying to explain to you what we're trying to do. So, because you guys see everything we do as racist, fascist, and just evil. We're not evil, regular people.
I hear your point, but it goes right back to my same argument about don't get in the mud if you don't want to get dirty. You see everything the left does as socialists and communists. Everything they do, every left winger out there is going to take all your guns away. They're all Marxists, they're all communists, they're all socialists. If you don't want everybody calling you all those names, don't partake in that.
Listen, there's levels to everything.
There's no levels. People are
saying all the things you've been saying. I don't even like to label people. I like to just explain what things are and how things happen. Yeah. I'm not much of a labeler.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make to you is you do not get to decide the levels. If you smack me, you don't get to decide how hard I can hit you back. Well, it's levels. I only smacked you. You can't kick me. You don't get to decide that. Just don't smack the person. Because now you're out, well, he hit me back harder than I meant to hit him. What happened to Trump, who everybody used to state, if you hit Trump, he hits back 10 times as hard. You don't sound like you agree with that.
Yeah, but at least he hits back. He doesn't murder people. That's the difference. We're trying to, we guys let you go with calling us fascists and Nazis for a long time. It's only when people started dying, you were like, hey, it was only when Trump got shot at when we're like, hey, how about you stop calling him a Nazi, because now people are shooting at him. So again, you guys didn't listen, and what happened? Kurt got shot.
He was in the mud. He was in the mud.
We let it go because we know that your words are worthless because they don't mean anything because you repeat them so much. On the other hand, they got through to some crazy people, and they decided to go after the president, and they went after Kirk. So are you guys going to keep going, keep calling us Nazis? How many people have to die before you stop?
I don't think you know what 10 times is. I don't think you know what 10 times as hard means. If you call in the Democrats socialists, communists, and fascists, what is 10 times harder than that?
Nothing is. So
there is. There is something that's 10 times harder than it. You're complaining about it.
But again, we're calling you names.
10 times harder.
There's a
10 times harder. Rosie O'Donnell was calling Trump names. His 10 times harder, I'm going to take her citizenship away. 10 times harder. This doesn't work just in your favor. It works.
Shit. You guys could talk shit 10 times harder. That's not what you're doing. You're murdering people.
No, so
that's different than talking shit.
Okay, so the people that are celebrating wait. The people that
Trump killed one guy and you guys came back and killed 10. Trump has killed 0.
No, so what about the people that did not pull the trigger? They're just celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Is that talking shit 10 times harder?
I mean, again, I wouldn't care, but it's gonna lead to more violence. That's where I worry.
I said, if you
can do whatever you want, but I'm worried that it's gonna lead to more violence, which is very ironic because you guys always say that what we're doing is gonna lead to violence, but we're not calling anybody a Nazi.
No, you're calling them murderers.
Yeah, because somebody got murdered.
One person pulled the trigger, not the whole Democratic Party.
I understand, but how about you guys stop calling us Nazis?
I'm just going to, if it's okay for Trump to view one person that he thinks, and I don't even know if Tyler Robinson is liberal, but let's say Tyler Robinson is liberal. If Trump can call the whole party something based on the actions of Tyler Robinson, I'm sure there's at least one MAGA that's racist. So is it okay to call all MAGA racist?
Again,
it's a yes or no question.
No, it's not okay.
Then what? So was what Trump did wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong. But are you gonna live your life based on what Trump says?
No, they're gonna do back what he did to others to him. This is why it keeps going. It's coming from the top.
I don't see it that way. I see it as the bottom pushing things. It's the bottom escalating things right now.
So when Trump went on television and said the Democrats took the life of Charlie Kirk before they even knew who the killer was, you blame that on the bottom?
I blame that on everyone, the top and the bottom.
Okay. And you wonder why they're calling you a Trump apologist.
I don't care about that. I just want you guys to stop calling us Nazis so people stop dying. And I don't know why that's such a complicated thing to understand. Like, I don't want more people dying. I don't want another Charlie Kirk.
I don't get it. I mean, if you got folks saying I can go for mean tweets and $2 gas, folks are joking about drinking liberal tears. I mean, you would expect that sooner or later these people are going to be really I mean, you're making fun of pissing people off. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen if you keep doing that over and over and over again?
Yeah, but we have a limit. You guys took it way past the limit. Like, you guys are firing nukes at this point.
That's the problem, MAGA, is that when you're pissing people off, you don't know what their limit is. That's why people say when you get in road rage incidents, never get out of your car, because you don't know how far the other person's going to take it. If you don't know what people's limits are, you just enjoying pissing them off. You don't know these people. So just don't do it.
So how are we going to ever fix the cut? So you're saying not to even debate? Then why are you even?
I'm saying
saying and doing might lead to someone getting shot. So
I don't think boasting that you're drinking liberal tears and I can go for some mean tweets and $2 gas is debating. That's just pissing people off.
Again, any debating is going to piss someone off.
That ain't debating. You think mean tweets is debating?
I mean, yeah, it's fucking free speech. It's whatever. Yeah.
So celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk is debating because it's free speech.
It's really bad debating, but yeah. And people are gonna get on there and comment why you're wrong and why you're an idiot.
All right.
It's debating. I mean, we're stretching things a little, but I don't know.
You got some of my viewers saying this guy's drunk.
The only solution, if I went off what you said, I would have to.
You just told me that celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk is debating. You said it's bad debating, but it's debate. I got to move it on, man. Appreciate it. One of my viewers said this guy's either drunk or drinking. What did he say in the comments? I saw it. Wow. Oh my God, he's so poorly educated. And shooting is not a debate. No, it's not. No, it's not a debate. Neither is mean tweets and $2. None of that shit's debates. Some of it is blatant violence, like what happened to Charlie Kirk. What Trump is doing is blatant insults. Nothing to do with debating. This dude needs to go back and listen to himself. Yes, that's MAGA Reacts. That's one of my MAGA viewers. He is a friend of the program, but we don't agree on much. A gay Antifa trans Tifa Fury killed Charlie. Why are all assassination attempts in red states? Wow. Well, according to according to Charlie Kirk, and these are his last words, are you talking about gang violence? Are you including, because when you say all of the assassinations are in red states, are we talking about gang violence? I'm not going to put the microphone down because I know what happens when you put the microphone down after saying that. So I'm going to hold the microphone. Are we talking about gang violence? Because that happens in blue states. All of Tyler's friends said he would get offended if people called him a Democrat or a liberal. Wow. So you're saying Tyler Robinson was not left. He was actually insulted when people called him Democrat or liberal. Red states have stupid Democrats in them. Okay. The education in red states is pretty damn low, and it ain't just in Democrat cities. Both sides to the same coin. The Demon says colonizers, Democrats versus evil empire. Trump is MAGA separate. I don't know what that means. Do we know what the definition of assassination is? Yeah, I think we all do. No, he was recently politically radicalized via the internet. Like I said, I mean, you can be radicalized, but that doesn't mean you lean left. Let's say, and I'm sure there's a whole lot of Republicans that think Martin Luther King, for instance, was a good guy. If you ask Trump, I bet you he would say nothing but positive shit about Martin Luther King. So if somebody says something negative about Martin Luther King, and Trump feels that that person is being hateful and does something awful to that person, does that automatically make Trump a liberal? The reason I'm saying this is because one of the things that Tyler Robinson allegedly said is he is tired of Charlie Kirk's hate. But he didn't point out what Charlie Kirk was saying that he thought was hateful. So just because you don't agree with Charlie Kirk or you believe he's preaching hate doesn't automatically equate to you being a liberal. That don't mean you're pro-choice, pro-common sense gun laws, pro-minimum wage increase just because you didn't like Charlie Kirk. I know you want it to be that way because we need a boogeyman. But there's a lot more to being left than just not liking Charlie Kirk or even liking a transgender person. There's more to it than that. You can be in a transgender relationship and still believe in small government, Second Amendment rights, which Charlie Kirk clearly believed in, or better yet, Tyler Robinson clearly believed in. I don't see enough there to be certain that Tyler Robinson was left. I just don't. I see some people claiming he leaned left, but they're not telling you why. And then of course he didn't like Charlie Kirk, and he had a transgender associate, lover, whatever you want to call it. Now, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna say it's more likely he's left. But to me, that's not overwhelming evidence. That's not overwhelming evidence. He is not a president for the United States. I do agree with that. They closed Amish perverts. What does that mean? One of the most sensible liberals out there, these modern liberals are a shame to the U.S. government. Damn. Kind of like disgusting Ilhan Omar and abomination and shame to all immigrants. I don't know enough about it to go with that. Justin, appreciate it. Both sides are just hypocrites. And how I see it is just going to get worse. Just makes me sad. Unfortunately, I can't disagree with any of that. There's plenty of hypocrisy on both sides, and I do believe it's going to get worse because there's nobody of power in this country that's trying to bring us together. Aaron Perez says that means red states house more stupid people. You said there's more stupid people in red states? Real quick in the comments, most conservatives are racist. Let's call it what it is. Wow. You guys believe that? By way of yes or no in the comments, how many people believe that most conservatives are racist? Damn. Most of them are? Yes or no in the comments. How many people believe that? Oh, wow. I'm just looking. I got one person on TikTok that says no. Everybody else is saying yeah. Most conservatives are racist. Damn. David, okay, I see you, David Lipke. One person saying no. Okay, there's a few people on YouTube saying no. 50-50 says Chad. 100%. Most conservatives are racist. Jeez. That's bad. That's really bad. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. It's actually required in most conservative spaces. You're required to be racist? Who love that Confederate flag? Well, I will just say this about the Confederate flag. You know, my son don't fucking care, man. I'm at the end of this soon. But a lot of folks will tell you the Confederate flag is not about racism. It's about pride and heritage. I don't fucking know. I'll just say this is my personal analysis. I'm not going to say anybody waving around the Confederate flag is racist. I'm definitely not going to say anybody doing it is not, because most hate groups do wave the Confederate flag. So obviously a lot of people waving the Confederate flag are racist. I don't think any of those, when I say hate groups, I mean groups that are Caucasian based. If most of the members are white, most white supremacists and hate groups in America do have the Confederate flag as part of their uniforms or what they're waving around. It's part of their symbols. So does that mean everybody waving the Confederate flag is racist? No, because there's still a few black people that do it. I'll just say it like this. As opposed to saying the Confederate flag is racist or saying that everybody waving it is racist, I'll use statistical probability. If you are in a group where people are openly waving and defending the Confederate flag, the statistical probability of you being in the proximity of people that are racist is higher. I'll say it like that. It is, you have a higher statistical probability that you are among racists if that flag is in a group with you. Doesn't mean they're all racist. Doesn't mean it's always that way. But the statistical probability of you being in a group with people waving a Confederate flag versus, let's say, the American flag, it's going to be higher. It is going to be higher. Hell yeah, most of them are fucking racist, says Farrah Chaser. Black people that's waving the Confederate flag have Stockholm syndrome. Damn. And I see Deaf Guy the 12th. I tried. He says that's politically correct. That's PC. Thank you. I tried. I really did. I worked hard on that. Handsome Agent Boo. MAGA reacts and far right ain't shit. Did you hear about the shooting at the AOC building, California? Wow, I know I have not heard about this. What MAGA reactions talking? MAGA makes no damn sense. No, at the ARC building, right? Not AOC, ARC building. When did this happen? Did I hear about the shooting at the ABC? Okay, I can't. ABC building. I can see it now. There was a shooting at the ABC building. Did that happen today? I have not heard that. I have not heard that. Wow. All right, let me go back to the box. I have not heard that. And by the way, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 30,000, if you will. We'll continue on with, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Nicole Gooding, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. You must not be paying attention, sir. Democrats have been picking up seats. You're talking to somebody in the comments. Nicole, good afternoon.
What's up, Tim?
I'm just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. You know what I always say.
They doing a lot of hanging lately.
I heard that somebody actually was lynched. Did I hear that right? They found somebody.
2 people, I believe. I haven't gotten all the details, but I think it's 2 people in New York.
Wow.
And I did hear that they claimed that it was no, what's that bullshit they call
foul play?
Like, yeah, no foul play.
He just
his arms
decided.
and legs were broken.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna jump out of a tree. I'm bored. I'm gonna put this around my neck and jump for dear. Yeah, right. No foul play.
That's what all black people love to do. I know. This is crazy. In New York. It ain't even the South.
What part of New York though? Because rural New York is very red.
One was in Albany, I believe, but there was another one a while ago. I saw it on TikTok, and they were trying to get a big push, and I didn't even see it on the news or anything. And I think it was maybe like around the last time I talked to you. So it's really like 3.
Damn.
But they not even getting played. I heard that you all, I don't know if it's true, but I saw yesterday someone posted, she was like, I'm going to refrain from talking about Donald Trump because he claims that it's illegal to say negative things about him.
It ain't illegal, but damn sure getting to be unadvisable. I mean, I start my program off real quick, like, I just got through seeing Trump on TV. Damn, he looked good as hell. That man looking handsome as hell for 80 years old. I mean, it's not getting, it's just like among the black entertainers. You don't say shit about Oprah. That can be a killer for your career. That's what Trump is like in the media now. It's getting to the point where you better not say anything about him.
I understand getting blackballed about talking about Oprah, but it's a little bit worse than that. I do not believe that he bent the knee to him like that and canned Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Trump is involved. Trump is the reason it happened, but they're saying, look, he said something that goes against his employer's morals, and your employer can fire you if you say something at work you shouldn't say.
He didn't say shit that was wrong.
Yeah.
He did his normal commentary, but he's been mad at him and don't like him. But I hope like HBO or somebody picks him up, or he just starts his own podcast or something. That's really gonna fuck him up. Then he gonna get him kicked off of XM Radio?
Yeah, it could actually happen. I actually said that after what happened to Jimmy Kimmel and what's going on with Stephen Colbert right now, those 2 could probably do a Shannon Sharp, Cat Williams right now. They would get millions of views. If they went on YouTube and did a 3-hour video speaking frank and said whatever the hell they want, or do the 8-part series, they would get tens of millions of views on that. They could make a killing doing that.
Absolutely. I would be there for all of it.
Yeah, they would make a killing on that. So I assume you will see and hear from Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel after they're off of CBS and ABC, but it is...
But they got canned. Well, they're suspended. Well, Jimmy is suspended indefinitely.
Indefinitely,
that's basically right. So does that cancel his contract? Because can he just go off and do what he wants? It's probably a lot of...
Well, shit, if you suspended me indefinitely, am I getting paid? Is there expectation of coming back? Otherwise, yeah, I should be able to do what I want. I don't have a job anymore.
Has he spoken out about it yet?
I think I heard I haven't heard any really deep, detail. I mean, because he's probably going to save that. Like when Chris Rock got slapped, I'm going to say that for my own shit. Yeah, I'm going to say that for my own, because I can make a killing off of that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a great idea if they did a show together.
Yeah, do a Netflix special or some shit. I mean, he could make a killing off of that. Why? You don't give that away in an interview. I'm going to save that, because I know when I released that, everybody want to hear what I got to say. Just like with Chris Rock and the slap. Everybody wanted to hear that.
Did you watch Chris Rock?
Hell yeah, I watched that shit.
I know, right?
We was wearing all white. Yeah, I watched that.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, so
I want to talk to you.
Yeah, so people gonna do that with Jimmy Kimmel. Everybody want to hear what he has to say about this. So
we're waiting, anxiously waiting. Like, oh my God, what is he gonna say? But I want to watch. I didn't get to see it last night because I'm not at home. But I want to see what Bill Maher has to say about it.
I watched him this morning because I watched it on YouTube. I'm trying to see what he said. Right. He did cover it. And he kind of made the jokes like I'm saying, like, man, he looked really handsome. I saw him. I mean, he was joking about it. I'm trying to think what he said, because I did watch Bill Maher's. I watched it this morning. I can't remember it all, but he covered it in detail. He covered it.
Do you think that, because somebody said that on my post yesterday, do you think that Bill Maher has toned it down since he went to meet with Trump? I don't think so. He's still being fucking sued. He still talks about him.
He does, because he on the special he did yesterday on his show, he did mention that when you meet with Trump is very aware of his situation. He mentioned kind of like he's very charming and he's a decent person to talk to. He said the Democrats should try to talk to him. He said this guy actually is okay for you sitting down and talking to him.
But here's the thing. People took it as he was trying to support him. I don't think that he was necessarily trying to support him. I can say good things about Trump and things that I like and things that I don't like. But that doesn't mean that you're bending the knee because you can say he did this great or he has a great personality. He still could be a slime ball, but he could have these things, these good attributes too, right? So people act like,
that's the Democrats. So that's the Democrats wanting you to hate Trump, because when I get Trump credit for stuff like the border and shit like that, I get folks hating on me. You're fucking coon. I mean, like everything. No president has 100% bad shit. Even if I don't like the guy, there's some things he's done that are okay, and they don't like to hear that. And that's what Bill Maher has done. He's pointed out some things that Trump has done that's decent, and he also attacks the far left and woke culture pretty bad, and they like that. And the Democrats hate that, he's doing that.
I point out something that he's done as well recently, and I don't say too many things nice, but this is the first time that we have had a president with 34 felonies.
That ain't nice.
No, listen. That gives a lot of people the wherewithal to believe that they can do it, right? So people with felonies should now, like jobs, they shouldn't even have an excuse to say you have a felony. You should be able to go to BNSF, AT&T, all of these big corporations, and they should welcome you with open arms.
I do agree. We've made some special provisions for Trump that we would not make with anybody else.
But those are provisions that other people will look to have, right? Because now the political climate has changed so much. Do you like what Gavin Newsom is doing? Because I find it hilarious.
Trolling Trump?
Yes, absolutely. Why is it okay for the right to do it and it's not okay for the left?
No, listen, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. I don't like that any president or presidential contender does that. But if you can't beat them, you may have to join them. And that's what Gavin Newsom is doing.
And he has to, because when we go high and stay high, unless you're Barack, you can't get away with that.
No, I don't even know Barack Obama could get away with it. I don't even know if Barack Obama could get away with it. I mean, if you're getting in there and, you're having trying to be professional at a debate and the guy goes, your mama's fat, you got to start attacking. I mean, he's going out, they're eating cats and dogs. You said what?
Barack knows how to respond with being politically correct and getting you told. Like he said something about Barack maybe a few months ago, and Barack responded and he corrected him. And he didn't have to curse him out. He didn't have to belittle him. He just basically checked him in the most polite way he could without saying fuck off.
Do you think Barack could beat him if they ran again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
what other Democrat do we have? What Democrat right now that you said outside of Barack or his wife, who else could stand up to him and win?
I think the way, and that's a good question. I think you're phrasing it wrong though, because Trump is not supposed to be able to run again. So people need to realize.
We know that, right? Yeah, we know that, but we already knew he wasn't gonna leave office. Most dictators don't.
Shit, if he can run again for a third term, it don't matter who runs against him, they're gonna lose, because if he can change the rules to run again, he's gonna change the rules so he wins.
Now, here's the other question. I'm really upset because I never thought that Republicans would go along with dictatorship. They are supporting this. They are the one people that can actually put this thing to a screeching halt. You all can still be in power. You just don't have to do it illegally. No president should be able to run for the rest of their lives and just sit in office. But now all of a sudden he's in office and we can just go back to segregation. We can just go back to the 50s. Fuck it.
Well, I mean, listen, this guy is in office. He's doing everything we like. It would be nice to know America's going to be like that forever. So they don't care about, do I want to actually stick with the Constitution and risk having liberals come back in there with all of this LGBTQ transgender shit? It is nice that we may have the country the way we want it for the rest of my life. Yeah, they're willing to do that.
Okay, so that's a good question. So what is it that they want the country to be? They want the country to be all white, or do they want the country to be fair? Because now I feel like it's not even about it's definitely about being all white, which they're shipping brown people out like in droves. However, there's a lot of interracial relationships for one.
That shit's got to end.
They're gonna come out with a law.
Let me tell you, it is gonna be, when they say make America great again, obviously again is a reference to something in the past. Trump is talking about the golden age and things like that. It's pretty obvious that their vision of America has something to do with how we were in the past. I mean, they're using these words. Yeah.
That's always been the dog whistle that make America great again, like it was ever great, like it wasn't great now. Like, I felt like even when Barack was in office, I could tell there was a blatant racism rising because this black man was in office. And instead of us rising to the occasion and electing Hillary, that would have just been too much. You could have a black man than a white woman. That would have just sent us overboard. So then it would have been better had Trump got 2 consecutive years and been out of there. But the issue came in because he got to sit out for 4 years. He learned from his first mistakes, and he came back with a fucking vengeance.
Yeah, if he had got 2 consecutive years, he might be serving his 3rd term right now. So, I mean, whatever he's planning on doing.
Because he had those generals. You see, he have no generals. He has nobody in there. He has a bunch of ass kissers.
That was going to happen, though. But, Nicole, that was going to happen. During his first term, he started already firing people that were not loyalists. He was going. Yeah. So if he had won in 2020, throughout his 2nd term, he would have formed those loyalists that he has now. He would have been so slowly but surely doing what he's doing now, because everything he's running on.
Loyalists too, right? They were loyalists, but they also had a little bit of common sense and allegiance to the flag and Constitution versus the president. And then that's the issue, right? So now these people say fuck the Constitution and fuck the flag. Our allegiance is to the president. It still would have been okay. He wasn't that smart. He didn't have all the information. Just imagine.
He had the same players, though. He had the same agents and advisors. I mean, the Steve Bannons, the Millers.
Do something to me, and I go straight into my 2nd term, he still had generals. He was changing people left and right, but he was still on that path. This time, what generals do he have advising him?
He's a one-man band this time. He's the one man.
He would have still had those generals that were in office when he got let go of, or when he lost, and they would have still been able to try to keep up. They were fighting. And
I think if Trump had won in 2020, whatever you think he's going to do coming up towards 2028, I just think it would have happened 4 years earlier. I think most of the people you're talking about that were resistors or not necessarily going to be with the program, they would have said something stupid and crossed them, and he would have fired them throughout his 2nd term. So probably halfway through his 2nd term, it would be very similar to the people he's got in power now.
Now, my other question, because I haven't talked to you in forever, we ain't even a year in yet, Lord Jesus. What the fuck are we going to be looking like? I can't even imagine in a year Or 2 years?
MAGA world. We're going to be looking like MAGA world.
What is MAGA React saying lately? Because I have missed all that.
You just missed it. I got to move it on, but you just missed. He was a call or two before you, so. But, and by the way, I got to talk to you. We're talking to SAG about the mayoral thing, but, no, he,
I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, don't, not here. We'll talk about it on the side, but,
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, MAGA Reacts is MAGA Reacts. That's all I'm going to say.
But are you still, I'm trying to find out, how is your MAGA people? Are you getting more or less now?
About the same. I mean, MAGA's very happy with Trump. They're very happy.
Still?
Yeah. Especially black MAGA. Black MAGA's very happy with Trump.
And Julio?
I haven't talked to him. Yeah, he's still happy, but I haven't talked to him in a few weeks. Yeah, DJ Julio is still very happy. He's up in South Dakota.
Nobody realizes they're getting fucked too.
Sometimes you don't know. I got to move it on, Nicole. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Anytime. Real quick in the comments, Joe Shalom says, how many MAGAs called out Trump for calling immigrants murderers and rapists? None. He gained more support for that racist and untrue statement. Case closed. Well, they still believe it. A large portion of the immigrant community are murderers and rapists. So they're not going to call him out for saying something they actually agree with. So that's why. Derek Martin, thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Tap the screen, folks. Get your boy a sub if you enjoy this type of open dialogue. Follow the program if you're watching on TikTok. Sub if you're watching on YouTube. Aaron Perez says they were scared to go to jail. They know judge or paid. I don't quite get what you're saying there, but yeah, I think if Trump had won in 2020, he would have just slowly but surely established the type of loyalists he has around him now. It might have taken him to about 2022, but he has an incredible amount of support from MAGA, an incredible amount of support from Congress and Senate in the Supreme Court. So he can kind of do whatever he wants. And I think that he would have found his way there had he won in 2020. I am a conservative and joined recently. Thank you. Thank you for letting both sides talk. I appreciate that. Matt Snow, appreciate that accolade. Real quick here. There you go, Tim. They are racist. Wafer thin Constitution you bring up when it suits you. Don't know what you mean by that. Let me go back to the box. Continuing on with Miss Mo Betta. Good afternoon, Miss Mo Betta.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm enjoying your setting today. It's
God's
serene.
God's green earth.
Here?
God's green earth. I'm out bike riding. I just stopped to figure out, talk to you folks. I'm at the end of it soon, but I just stopped and figured I'd come in here and say hello to the folks. And the sun is coming back out again.
Yeah. That sun could be a little brutal.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What did you have a topic today?
This is an open forum. I'm letting the folks speak. Obviously, Charlie Kirk continues to come up, and of course, Trump's going to come up for the next 3 years. But I was, we just letting the folks speak. How you feeling about the direction of the country?
It's terrible. It's more division now than when half the racists were mad when Obama got elected. It's even more divided now. And the reason being is because you have a lot more younger people speaking about politics than it was when Obama and them ran. It wasn't a lot of the younger people. So, and this is what got CK in his position, because he started going after the younger people. You understand what I'm saying?
Is that not a good thing, though, that Charlie Kirk brought so many young folks to politics? Isn't that a good thing? I mean...
Well, I don't know how good that is for him, because the young one took him out. I'm
God damn.
I'm not glorifying what happened to him.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
That was horrible. But a young one took him out. So we're dealing, when it comes to the young people, we're dealing with a whole different demographic of people. They weren't raised like we were raised. And I'm 52 years old, proud to say it. They weren't raised like we. They have too many outside entities that can influence their thoughts. They got ChatGPT. They got all kinds of things now to where they really don't even have to think for themselves.
Yeah. That is true.
So that was probably a gift and a curse for him.
What is your take on Charlie Kirk, though? I mean, he did bring a lot of folks to politics. He's obviously a devoted Christian. I mean,
he was not a devoted Christian. He was a grifter. He found a niche and it worked for him.
You don't think he's Christian?
No, right along with the white Christian nationalists. Absolutely not. Because you know why? To call you a Christian and for you to speak division and hate against a certain group of people is just not Christian-like. That's not what Jesus would do. I'm sorry.
How do you respond to folks who often say he did not speak hate at all?
Well, those are the deniers. Those are the so-called Christians also. Yeah. So again, and I've watched. I went back and I've seen him in real time talking too, but he just wasn't a nice person. Well, to us, he wasn't a nice person. I don't know what kind of personal vendetta he had against black and brown people and different things like that. He wasn't just a race. He was more so of a bigot because he went after other people besides just African American people, black and brown people. He was talking about Jewish people. He was talking about a lot of different people. So, like, listen, and what worked for him, because he'd get up there and say, oh, well, 75% of this. Anytime you throw out a number, whether it's right or wrong, when people hear you say, well, 75% of this person is X, Y, Z, it makes you sound like I have all the answers to this stuff here.
So you do see, because there's a lot of MAGA that see it the opposite of you. They don't see this guy.
Listen, again, not everybody that supports Trump is racist, but all the racists do support them. And he the one who really got all of this stuff started. A rich guy donated gave CK $4.7 million to get his company started. And like I said, once he found that niche of going from school to school, whether the information he was getting was right or wrong, it's just that the people that they needed to follow him did. Because a lot of that stuff that he was saying was just so self-reliant and just it was just way off the charts, Tim. I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying not to come out my mouth and say anything derogatory because that's not my purpose here. That's not what my purpose is right now. It's just that people have to start telling the truth and seeing what exactly what it was. Again, now you want to give this guy a national day, like on the same him and George Floyd happened to have the same birthday, which is October 14th. I don't know if you've seen it, but
yeah, I actually
the Senate just approved some shit for October 14th to be a national day for CK. But you know what's happening though, right?
What do you mean?
You know what's happening because you're gonna have so much pushback because that's the same day as George Floyd's birthday. So
you think there's gonna be like widespread protests or some shit like that?
It's gonna be a mess, Tim, and not just me. A few of your callers and stuff has said this. They want a civil. It's gonna be so much civil unrest.
Now tomorrow is the day they honor this. You think there's gonna be counter protests? And before you answer that, I see Joe.
Yes,
Hold on.
Happening as we speak.
Hold on. I see in the comments Joe Shalom says if Trump comes up in 3 years, it will have to be from 6 feet under. What do you say? He's not going to survive in 3 years? Wow. But go ahead. You said
he's in poor health, and they're not going to say it. I'm not even expecting them to say it because that's who they are. His health is just is. You see how he used to always talk with his hands and all kind. He don't even